Good morning, everyone. Welcome to InvestorExpos show for April 30th. My name is Anna, and I'll be your host today. We are having a great lineup of 4 speakers for you. Marina Villatoro, Norman Hallett, for the first time on our show, Hugh Grossman, and Fausto Pugliese. This session will be recorded and sent to your email. Please take a look at your GoToWebinar control panel. Into the questions box, you will be able to ask any questions you want during the speakers' presentations. I would like to begin and bring to the show our first guest, Marina Villatoro. Hello, Marina.
Hi, everybody. How are you? Thanks so much for having me, Anna. I'm very excited to be here. So today I'm going to talk about analyzing the live market. I'm first going to talk a little bit about how to read the market, and then we will go into analyzing the live market. Okay, sounds great. Thanks, everybody. Hi, everybody. Oh, very excited to see you all. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you have a good morning coffee in your hands or tea or whatever. And thanks so much for being here. So today I want to talk about the live market. And before I do, I'm going to obviously go through a little bit of explanation of how I see the market so that you guys could kind of follow you around. Hi, Randall. Oh, nice. Good to see you here. I'm happy that you are here. Awesome. So, Randall, did you attend one of my presentations at Traders Expo? Let me know. That would be pretty cool. I'm curious if we met and everything. Thanks again for being here as well. Okay, so let's begin. I am Marina, the trader chick. This is me right here, and that's one of my little boys. And today I want to talk about 4 steps to analyzing the live market for high probability trades. What we'll cover in my presentation is understanding the market movement, how to use your indicators for entries and profits, reading the live market and spotting the trade setups, and how scalping helped me become a profitable trader. So I will talk a little bit about scalping. If you guys don't know it, I will explain a little bit more about what that is. So just a quick intro of who I am. I am Marina, the trader chick. I am an expat. I live in Antigua, Guatemala. So this is my family. The reason why mainly we live here is because my husband is Guatemalan, but we lived in Central America now for almost 20 years. So I've been an expat for quite a long time. I am trilingual. So one thing that me and Anna, the host, have in common is we both speak Russian. I am actually a Russian refugee from the USSR, so over 40 years ago, which was before the Cold War, or during the Cold War, I should say. So Russian is my native language, my mother language. However, I was raised in the US in 6. So it's pretty much my main language. It's the language I prefer to do everything in. And I also speak Spanish since I've been living in Central America for almost 20 years now. We lived in Costa Rica before, and then we moved to Guatemala. So I do speak 3 languages fluently. And the main reason why I'm bringing this up is because being trilingual helped me recognize something about the market in a different way. And I will get into that in a little bit. So also just a fun fact, before I started day trading, I was a fitness instructor and a travel writer. This is really important because I know a lot of people kind of are on the fence because they feel like if they don't have a math background or financial background, that they can't get into day trading, which is totally untrue. It is day trading. The beauty of it is that anybody can learn to day trade. And that's kind of the beauty of it, right? It's all about understanding and learning, and it can be simple. And that's what I've been really focusing on. So this is, as a travel writer, you can still find me on travelexperta.com. This is my travel site, which has been going for 12 years now, and it's part of all of our travel adventures and everything. So okay, so we're gonna start with getting back to the basics of building your trading foundation. So before we go live, I really want you to be able to see, hang on a second, I'm getting, some people are not here. I know I am muted, but I can't hear anything. Be hearing anything right now? Can you guys, because I'm seeing the majority of people can hear me, and then I just got 2 messages saying that nobody could hear me. They can, okay. So, all right. Well, those guys left. I guess they're going to be rebooting. Awesome. Okay, sweet. So let's get back to the basics. All right, so market movement and the breakdown of a trend. So one thing I realized, and I think it helped me because I am multilingual, and my last language that I learned, I was in my mid-20s. So when you're born with a language, and then if you are introduced to a new language at a really young age, you don't actually go through the process of learning a new language like you would when you're older, right? So when you're learning a new language in your late teens, 20s, 30s, and on, there's a process, right? You first have to learn the basic words, the language, then you have everything in your head is translated. So everything takes a long time. So if I was speaking to anybody who's speaking to me in Spanish, I would first have to translate everything in my head. It was a really slow process. People were super patient with me. Then I would have to think what I want to respond, go through the translation process in my head, and then explain it to the person. So after a while, this was like almost a year, and I was very determined to learn Spanish. One day, I woke up and I just spoke Spanish. I don't know if any of you here have been introduced to a new language and are actually now semi-fluent in that language that you learn later on in life. It just clicks. One day, it just clicks. I do not need to translate anything anymore. When people speak to me, I'm not 100% fluent because it's still not my native language. There's obviously slang and some little things that I probably will never understand, but I could pretty much hold my own in any conversation. And the biggest reward is when you could totally be participant in a group conversation, right? You just know that you're getting it. The market has a language. If you began studying the market, there are certain things that you are learning step by step, right? And at first, you have to first look at it and concentrate and understand. But then one day, this is how I went through it. One day you wake up and you realize the language, the market speaks to you. And if you don't understand its language, you're never going to be able to work with it. And that's where my thing is. It's understanding the basics, right? It's also kind of going back, if you're a musician, if you want to play the piano, you cannot get to playing a symphony, a Mozart, whatever sonata, until you go through the do, re, mi, and the scales. And this is what I want to take you guys to right now. We're going to start with the do, re, mi's, right? The basics, the holas and adioses of Spanish kind of a thing. And that is the trends, right? A lot of people understand and know logically that there are 3 trends. We obviously have the uptrend, we obviously have the downtrend, but we overlook the importance of the sideways trend, okay? And the sideways trend is so important because this is not only a sideways trend. What is it? It is the indecision area, an exhaustion pattern, consolidation, a transition. But if you're going in it thinking that it's going to do one thing or another, you're not going to work with it. Instead, you're going to be forcing a new thing that might not happen. Okay, so the goal is to understand when this is happening and to stay out of the sideways trends. I always call sideways trends consolidation areas or transition areas a trader's worst enemy, because this is where the majority of the money the traders end up losing. Why? Because during an uptrend and a downtrend, it's not that it's super simple to, be able to follow the trend, but we kind of get that it's moving, it's a momentum, it's moving, where our friend is our trend, even if it's up or down. Day traders make the same amount of money, probably even more on the up or the down. However, sideways trend, what happens, it becomes a mental situation, a mental issue. So here's the thing, right? So when you're in an uptrend or downtrend, this could be mirrored image, right? You're headed up, and all of a sudden you start to recognize that it's going to a sideways movement, right? But a lot of traders feel like they still have to keep on trading and don't recognize that the most important thing about trading is sometimes to just sit out. So what happens when we come up to one of these areas? It becomes a mental situation. So we're noticing that the market has been going up, and now we're kind of stuck in this exhaustion, in this indecision area. A lot of traders always believe, and this is a mindset thing, it's not real, it's a false belief, is that we have to beat the market or we have to predict what the market is going to do. Neither of those are true. And it's really important that once you recognize you could never beat the market, and you can never predict what the market is going to do. It'll be easier for you to actually enjoy what the market is actually doing. So when it is doing this, a lot of times, and this was me for years until and lost and constantly losing, what I was doing is when I was seeing a trend moving in one direction, I would get here, I'll be like, okay, you know what? The trend has been running this whole time in this direction. It's got to correct. I'm going to take the opposite. So in this case, if it was running up, you know what? It's going to correct. I'm going short. It's going to correct. It's going to correct. Or a lot of other traders, which I've noticed, say, you know what? It's been going up. It's going to continue going up. I'm going long. But it doesn't. What happens here is you literally have to sit out. That is a complete mind game that our brains play on us. Totally untrue. But what if it is just a consolidation which transitions into another area, right? We have to be able to be ready and open to understand when that happens. And that mainly happens through understanding and respecting areas. And areas are very basic, right? There's the resistance area, which is literally a ceiling, which is something that stops the trend from moving up, right? And it's when you have quite a lot of hits. And if the market is revisiting those areas, and we already know that's an area, we respect it. We're like, you know what? This was an area visited before. I'm going to just check out to see what's going to happen. If it breaks out, awesome. I'm all over a breakout trade. But what if it doesn't? What if it changes direction like it did here and gave us a mini downward trend? And if you're a scalper, this could be some seriously profitable areas to check out on. So there's a support. Support is a floor of a market. It's the floor of a trend, right? Again, it could totally change the direction. Look at this hardcore movement down, and then it changed, right? It didn't continue down, but I don't know when it's going to change, right? I don't have that information until it totally does, and I have confirmation, and then I'm ready. Or it could continue headed down in the breakout version, right? This is what a tradable channel can look like. Very common sideways markets, but if it's a big enough tradable channel, meaning that it's wide enough, you can still find mini trends as well, right? So let's talk about how we could first start to spot all this information. To me, I find it through divergence. Divergence and reversal patterns are my religion, I almost call it. Like it's my go-tos. This is when the second I see this, this is my huge red light telling me, stay out of the market, take a break, see what it's about to do. It's not just because I'm starting to notice divergence with my MACDs and my price action is not telling me, okay, it's going to change direction. No, it is not a prediction. It is a potential for something to start happening. That means I sit and wait, right? So that's exactly what happened here, right? When I first begin seeing this, I see the divergence. I'm seeing, okay, that it's already slowing down, losing its momentum here with the MACDs, and then it actually does. It goes into a sideways movement, right? And a reversal pattern is literally the first place when I see double bottoms and divergence, I'm out of it. But at this point, by the time I even got here, I've already started to have divergence in my price action and the MACD. So I already know that there is something that is about to happen in the slowdown. So I'm just sitting and waiting. And that is my job as a trader, to read the language of the market, never to predict it or to beat it. Because if that was the case, we would, it's like psychics, we would have our crystal balls, right? And it's not only for that. That means we could predict what's going to happen with a pandemic. We could predict everything. We can't. What are we doing with the pandemic? It could be very much applied to here. We sit and we wait it out. We sit and we wonder what is going to happen, because it's always uncertain. And the market is always uncertain. But the market does give us very specific language that we could follow and understand. I personally am not a huge Head and Shoulders user. It's not my primary reversal pattern. However, when I see a Head and Shoulders after I've noticed my other signs, it's like a reconfirmation. So I talked a little bit about breakouts, and this is something that I'm going to show a little bit more once we look at the market, the live market. Excuse me. So we have, the way I talk about breakouts is very simple. Imagine you are right here at the bottom, right? And this very low pivot, and you are getting in your car and you want to go and see your friend that lives completely north of you. And that's right here at this top pivot. So you're driving north, but all of a sudden there is a construction site. And what happens? The construction worker tells you there's a detour and you got to go east. So you got to go to the right? So now all of a sudden you're driving. However, while you are driving here in this indecision area, You're not sure. Are they going to fix the road? Is there going to be a huge hole in the road and they're going to just say, forget it, you got to go back? Or is it going to be fixed? What's going on? Like when you guys are driving in that detour, how often are you being like, oh my God, am I going the right way? Is this really right? This is indecision area in the market. And all of a sudden, they say, guess what? The road is fixed. You could head on up. That is a breakout. You continue in the same direction. Okay, so, but if not, if they're like, you know what, sorry, the road is totally unrepairable, you got to go back. What does that mean? It's a transition. It's a change in direction. Okay, so that's the difference. So a breakout is literally a continuation in the direction you originally wanted, but had a detour. Okay, so all of this and a lot more I have as a gift for you guys, completely free. It literally, I'm not telling you anything, just go to makingofadaytrader.com and you will get this entire cheat sheet, and it actually has a lot more for you to be able to really go through. And I literally apply that cheat sheet to my trading every single day, literally. So, and again, if you will have questions from the cheat sheet, you could always contact me at thetraderchick.com. You can find me there, no problem. So again, go to makingofadaytrader.com. And let me just check your questions really quickly so that, oops, I am on top of you guys, everything. All right, so there aren't any new questions. Okay, so remember, makingofadaytrader.com. Hang on a second here. And now we are going to go, and everything that I briefly talked about is now time to check out the live market. All right. So here we are. I use the NinjaTrader platform because I trade the ES minis. So as you can see, today has been a pretty crappy sideways morning. It's been open a couple hours. I wouldn't really say it is even remotely interesting at all. Okay, so just so I could go over really quickly, I trade the ES Mini, which is the S&P 500 index on the futures market. And I use a 610 tick chart. That is my time frame. So what is a 610 tick chart? If you can see right here on the right hand bottom corner above my MACDs, it says ticks remaining. So let me just show you here. So each one of these bars, let me just change my pointer. Each one of these bars, it is 610 transactions. I found this to be the most in real time trading that I could do, right? So I'm going to now talk a little bit about my indicators. I used to trade with 3 monitors, like 5 to 10 different indicators. I mean, blinking lights, major analysis paralysis. It was really, really stressful and simply unenjoyable. And to be honest with you, I kept on losing for several reasons. One is because I kept on wanting to go for really big targets. Like I had my Bollinger Bands on, and then I changed to Kettler bands. I mean, they're really similar. And every time I wanted to go for where the bands were coming up, it was very misleading. And basically, by the time it hit the bands, it would have stopped me out, right? And when you're going for a big target, like 2-3 points, you have to put up a lot more money, right? So for people who are new to futures, I'm going to just do a little quick mini intro. So the way futures, the ES mini works is you go by points. Each point is worth $50 per contract. You put in contracts versus like buying positions, right? So for each contract, for each point, it's $50. The points and each of these little boxes, that is 1 point. I have my charts set up to be per point, right? Within 1 point, you have 4 ticks. Each tick is worth $12.50. So that means that, hang on a second here. You could actually trade only ticks if you want. You could go for $12.50, but that's too small, I think, because it's too tiny. Like I think that's just too micro scalping. So I am a scalper. At this point, I only look at 1 point targets. However, if you go in with 10, 15, 20 contracts, you could do the math, right? Times 50. So my strategy at this point that I've been using is I have trades that I look at. I have really, really strong green lights. I have 10 trade setups that I follow and understand and really, really know have been working. So with one contract, with 1 point, I mean, chances of my trades working out are now around 90% or more, simply because when you're going for much bigger bigger targets, there's a higher chance of it retracing, stopping you out, and we want to eliminate that. Just because big targets sound really good on paper does not make them really that great in that respect, right? So here's a good example of a sideways market and why there's massive indecision. Everything I do is off of my red and purple lines. These are, I'm going to talk about my indicators really quickly so you guys understand my indicators. So I use EMA lines, right? They are the exponential moving average. I use 3 of them. My orange one is 135. So this is 135. So it's a period, meaning it's 135 weeks. So it's like 2.5 years worth of average data. Then I have the purple one, which is my smaller time frame. That is 20 weeks, 20-week period. And my main one, the red solid line, that is my 52-week one, which is a year's worth of exponential data, right? So everything I do works off of these 3. And then my other indicator, I only have 2 indicators, is my MACD. And this is literally just the universal indicator, which is 12 for fast, slow 26, 9 smooth. And then the MACDs are usually broken up into 3 sections when you do them. It doesn't matter which platform you're on, they all start the same. So the average and the difference ones, I just put them into transparent. I only use the actual MACDs themselves. So how do I use these 2 together? My MACDs are I live for them. I find that the MACDs are are the least lagging indicator that I have ever seen, to be honest with you, because when it starts to lose strength, even though before the market actually shows us that it's losing strength, that's when I know that something is about to change. When there is divergence in the market, I know that there's already something's going on. So I really, really pay attention to that. However, when you're in a sideways market, it kind of changes quite a lot, right? Because you're just bouncing back and forth, and until that is broken, it's very hard for you to do much with it. Okay, so the EMA lines, the main reason why I use them, and really what happened was I've been trading for almost 8 years. So about 2 years or a year and a half ago, all I kept on doing was massively losing money. I mean, I was just hemorrhaging money. I was not being smart. I was going for too high of targets. I wasn't sticking to my stop losses. I mean, everything that we pretty much all go through, right? The ego was beating me out, revenge trading, chasing trades. It was horrendous. And one day, I remember it was April, so it was almost 7 years ago, I lost almost $4,000 in a few minutes. And instead of stopping right there, I then revenge traded for another 2 days and lost almost another $2,000. I mean, it was horrendous. My husband was like, why are you torturing yourself and losing all our money? So everybody was telling me I had to quit. So I took like a 2-3 month break. And I don't know about you guys, but trading's got this thing that it just keeps pulling you back in, because logically we know we can do it. So what I decided to do when I came back is I literally stripped my entire chart, and I had 3, and I removed 2 charts, like 2 monitors, removed them, and just started focusing on the one, but bare naked charts, right? And I started to read it, and that's when I started to recognize that there was this language, that there was reversal patterns, that there are transitions, sideways markets, and really started to understand. But one thing I realized that you can't just start to enter anywhere, right? You can't just start to enter, because just because you're seeing a longer bar does not mean that it's going to be continuing, right? I mean, I hear people say that all the time. Oh, I entered on a long candlestick. What does that even mean, right? So if you think of an archer, think of an archer, the bow and arrow guys or gals, whatever, they never just walk around aimlessly, walking around on a field and start shooting their arrows. They have a very defined place where they take their shots from. And that's exactly what my EMA lines are for. So this red EMA line is my main one that I take the majority of my trades from. However, the purple one, I use it quite often. I have certain trades. I have like 3 trade setups that I use for it. I do know it's a little bit more aggressive because it has a higher chance of retracing or correcting more to my main line. That's why I don't go in with as many contracts. So if I was to go from this particular one, the 52 EMA, I'll probably go in with a little bit more contracts, right? So, and then what I did was I put in my MACDs because I always enjoyed when I was learning divergences. I had like 2 or 3 different things that I was using before, but when I really focused on that, I recognized that MACDs was probably the most accurate when it came to divergences and for helping me understand what is happening in good time, right? Like the fact that it was losing strength here before it was losing there, and the divergences started to show me. And then when I was started to back test and really follow the divergence and see that it was telling me 90% of the time the potential of like stopping me out was really high. So that's when I added in the MACDs. And 610 is something that I started when I began trading, and I did go to the volume and I tried 5-minute charts. Volume indicators are lagging. They are not in the moment. Everything you do with trading is in the moment. You do not want stuck in a lag, right? So what happened? This right here, I am so in real time. I see exactly what's going on. I know exactly the amount of transactions. I also see how quickly it's moving. That means there's a good amount of volatility. So right now, even though we are stuck in this massive, ugly sideways market, I know that it's about to break through. There's too much movement going on. However, I don't know where it's going to break through. Even though it's been totally falling down, I don't know. It might actually break up. Look at that. It's trying to break through this support area and it's not breaking through the support area, right? However, if it does finally break through, or if not, I am going to be sitting stuck here, right? Let me push my thingies down a little bit. So I am looking right here. I have enough patience. I also know with enough of my back testing that this is the only trades that I want to look at. I do not care about entering anything within this particular sideways market. It's too uncertain. It's too choppy for me. It's not something that I have any interest in doing. And I'm okay with that. I am totally cool with just sitting and waiting until I have a very strong confirmation. Okay, I think I have some questions happening here. Are you going to, hang on a second. I'm breaking up. I don't understand why there's so many audio issues. Are you guys hearing me? Because I don't know. I don't know how to make it better. Yes, you guys, oh, okay. So if you had questions about where I was breaking up, can you guys please let me know so that I could go back and go over just what you were going over? Okay, so right now, I am starting to notice that there is starting to be a little bit of a minor move. However, I'm still really focusing on the last pivots because it could hit those areas like I was mentioning before, respecting the market, right? It's all about respecting the market. And look at that, it hit it to the tick and it's not going through yet. So what do? We sit and wait. So Now, what I do is I sit and wait, and once this right here, you see it didn't even go through it. It did not go through it. The market respects areas, and we as traders, as individual traders, retail traders, whatever you want to call ourselves, we have to respect that, right? Imagine if you guys were like, oh, it's about to break through, I'm getting in, right? But it's not. Just because there's strength here doesn't mean anything. It's about the whole picture. It's not only the max Ds or only this. No, it's the whole picture. It's like a jigsaw puzzle, right? We look at all the pieces so it could come together, right? Okay, so I have a couple of questions here. No, Berkey, I think that's your name, right? Or David, sorry, David. I would not ever buy at the bottom of, oh, sorry, Ed. I would never buy at the bottom of anything. Personally, I only buy or sell at this point. This will we'd be looking at a sell. We would not be buying long. We would go short, right? Because it's all the way at the bottom here. It's below the MACD 0 line. I would not be anywhere near any of this simply because of the sideways market. But I would be looking only to enter as the archer from either my 52 EMA line or my 20 EMA line. So yes, David, let me show you my, my indicators again. So you can see right here, the MACDs are 12, 26, and 9. Also, if you guys remember, go to makingofadaytrader.com. I have all that information in there for you as well. And then when I go in, so again, this could be done on any platform, right? Thinkorswim, Trading Station, Sierra Charts, it doesn't matter. This is all universal indicators. When you choose the MACDs, it usually does a 3 thing. It gives you an average, a difference, and the actual MACDs. So if you guys are familiar with NinjaTrader, it's transparent. I just make them all transparent so they don't get in my way. Another transparent. And then the MACDs is the ones that I actually give color. I personally like to use dot. You could use any one you like. You could use line, you could use dot. It's totally up to you. I like the dots because if the dots are separated a lot, they're showing me strength here as well, right? Oops, hang on a second here. Okay, so that's kind of that's what my MACDs are. Hang on a moment here. Oops, hang on. I just pressed something there. Okay. Okay. How do you spot an entry signal between indicators? Why? Okay. So, Alina, I'm not understanding the question. Can you please expand on that? How do I spot an entry signal? Yeah. Let me know what you're meaning by that. Why 135? So, as I mentioned earlier, I had 3 charts, right? So my 3 charts was a 233 tick chart. I always liked ticks. I really believe ticks is the best way to go because it's so in the moment. It's the only real time that you will have. And if it's moving fast, you know there's volatility. If it's moving super slow, you know that it's really slow in the market, right? Hold on one second. My doggy is starting to bother me and begging for treats. So my purple line is 233. It comes from the 233 tick chart. It's the 52 EMA line of the 233. So I just proportionated it to my 610 tick chart. And the 135, I used to use a bigger time frame, which was 1597, 1597 tick chart. So it's a 2.5 more time frame. And then having so many charts, and also the fact that we travel so much as a family, I really needed to figure out how to do everything off of my laptop. And that's when I started to play around, I guess you could say, or experiment and backtest by putting those EMA lines from the other charts onto this one chart. And so the 135 came from the 1597 tick chart. It was the 52 EMA there. So I just double, well, it's like almost double, right? 2.3 or something like that. So that's how I came up with the 135 EMA. line. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Okay, so just so you guys are seeing, look at this crappy movement, right? I am not going in here to go down or going up because I don't know if it's gonna go back in. For all I know is that it could also break out. Why would I try to predict that? When you're telling me that, well, I'm gonna go in for a long year because it just hit that, okay, so if it breaks through, you're going to be crying. You never want to be on the wrong side of the trade. You want to always have the edge. So you need to, it's not a coin toss and it's not like a roulette table, you know, kind of hope and see. No, it has to be very, very, very structured. And for me, this is not structured. This is ugly. This is terrible. You want confirmation. You want to be on the right side always. So the only two trades that I would be interested in right now would be a breakout to the top or a breakout to the bottom. Nothing else. I am not going inside that channel. But the cottage is calling. Will be there. Yes, Derek, thanks so much. And yeah, will be a recording. Oh, thanks, Anna. Yes. What are your indicators on the bottom panel? The bottom panel, Mike, are you talking about the MACDs? Because I just went over that like 2 seconds ago, if that's what you're talking about. There is no other bottom panel unless there's something else. Are those top and bottom white zones plotted automatically? Luis, only I have an ATM set up when I enter a trade, which is through an order waiting. And when I go in, I automatically have it set up that I have one point risk, 1 point target. That's it. I do split targets, but I don't want to get into anything more complicated. So Mike, I'm going to show you once again my indicator for the MACDs. Can you see that? The MACDs, 12, 26, 9. That's the MACDs. And then I have erased the average and the difference. So I only have the actual MACDs going on. Okay. Let me know if you guys have any more questions. So right now, again, we're seeing that the market is trying to break through. Let's see if it's going to respect that support area. If not, we want to start to see if it's going to break out. And again, it's not just a mini breakout. It has to break out with real strength, right? And the way I do that is I watch obviously my MACDs, which I absolutely love, but also with my EMA lines. They have to go through here as well because at the moment they're pretty flat and they're telling me that they're pretty crappy, right? So until that happens, respect the areas. I know that many people get really antsy during this time, but this is almost a guarantee that this is where the majority of your money is going to be taken. I mean, straight with the white zones, you can, but not really recommendable because you really don't know where you're going and it could be a completely different structure. My structure is everything from the EMA lines. I would have been stopped out several times already if I was, right? And I don't do a 50-50 toss up. Oh, well, maybe you will or maybe you won't. No, not at all. I have a very structured. And just because it's about lunch, you don't know if it's going to be lunch. That is you predicting the market. Obviously, it's almost lunch right now, but we don't know because lunch is usually when it even slows down. It could be after lunch. Sometimes it could be right before lunch. We never want to predict what is going to happen. And when you start to say it's going to be lunchtime or it's going to be tomorrow, that's a prediction. When is the pandemic going to end? Who knows? We just sit and wait. It's the same thing here. Look at that. Again, it hit this area, did not break through it, still total indecision. Let's see what's going on, right? And that's really what it's about. It's about enjoying the process and being able to sit through this kind of movement. And that's a real challenge for a lot of traders. It really is a big challenge because we as traders, it's a misconception. Another false belief is that we have to be constantly getting in and out of trades, almost like a trigger happy kind of a person. And I was that person. I used to take like 30, 40 trades a day within like a 2-3 hour trading session. Right? I mean, it was so stupid. And so what I recognize one thing, and this is an interesting analogy, even though I'm totally against the analogy I'm going to make, is think of yourself as a big game hunter. Right? I'm completely against hunting. However, would a big game hunter go and start shooting at any tiny little rabbit or prairie dog? No, they sit and they wait. They have that patience like a sniper to go for the big gray. So you want to go for the big, strong trades, the ones that you have back tested and back tested and back tested and know that there is a very high probability you're going to enter. So when you enter and it fails, you also know, you know what, this has failed only like 10% of the time. So you have to know that back testing is the backbone of everything I do. I did not miss any opportunity, Maria. There are gazillions of trades. That is something that I also really talk about. FOMAT, fear of missing a trade. There are thousands and thousands of trades. I didn't miss anything because I also know this is a place where I will get hammered and it's not worth it for me. And even if by chance, which I never want to have a chance, I do get a trade, it's, you know, I don't want to be in that stress. I do not need the agita. I don't need the ulcers. So that's what I mean. Alina, I cannot show you, unfortunately, my green setups in 5 seconds, but I have very specific ones. Okay, please repeat the moving average set. John, 20, 52, 135. Okay, Ed, I think there were some moves outside the support area. Again, maybe you see them well. I don't see anything out of the support area. Everything has been bouncing in, right? Again, this is my strategy. I am not telling you what you should have, and I shouldn't have bought anything earlier because I don't trust it. Look at that. I would have been totally stopped out if I entered where I entered because I entered from my EMA lines. I would have been totally stopped out. Not worth it. It's so flat. It's such an ugly behavior. It's really important to be able to understand, right? I think there was some, hang on. Oh, earlier in the day, maybe, but earlier in the day already passed. So we want to only look ahead. Let's see here. So I only like to sit through one. I only really love one market. I don't believe that we would. No, I would never short now, Maria. There's nothing here to tell me that it's short. And look what just happened. It's going back up. You can't just guess, unfortunately. I do have a trading room, Stephen. So please, you guys can contact me. Just go to traderchick.com. Difference between gray and black. Honestly, not much. I just had to put some difference here just to kind of give you variation. I don't look at candlesticks too closely as far as like if they're long, short, or if it's like this. Obviously, this is an indecision candlestick or when it's like that. Yeah, I just enjoy it. Yes. So guys, you please sign up for, I have to finish my presentation. Where am I here? So please don't forget, everything is right here, making of a day trader. You could totally get, no, Maria, I don't just do that. That is not part of my, I have a very strict strategy. A formula car driver would not just maybe decide to do one thing on another. They are very strict. I am insanely strict with what I do and choose. And for me, sitting through trades that might have worked out or not, when it's a 50-50 chance, isn't worth it. I prefer to be on the 90% side, and I'm very conservative and I enjoy it. I'm good with 2-3 trades a day. There's always a trade happening, guys. FOMAT, remember that. Fear of missing a trade. It could really hurt you. Thanks, Randall. Okay, guys, and it was good seeing you here, Randall. Thank you. So I am, hang on a second, there is, I think there's a question here. Right, okay, I think we're all good. If you guys have any questions, please let me know, but please go to makingofadaytrader.com and I would love to offer you any answers to all your questions or whatever. Thank you so much, everybody, and have a super rest of your day and enjoy lockout if you can. Okay, thanks, Anna. Bye. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Marina. And let's move to our next presenter, Norman Hallett. Hello, Norman.
Hello, I feel unmuted. Can you hear me okay? I feel very unmuted. Boy, that Marina, isn't she something?
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of great energy, Marina.
We had a lovely chat about you actually lately.
All right, 2 women chatting about me. I like it. I have to hear more about that.
Woof, woof. Okay, great. Norman, what are we going to talk about with you today?
something that's pervasive in the air anyway because of COVID and so on, and that's all about fear. Although the fear that I'm talking about is the fear of trading, the fears that one comes at with trading. Let's make sure before you leave me. Are we nice and blown up there, Anna?
Yeah, looks good to me. I will get back to you around 9:30 Pacific.
Okay, great. All right, well, hello, everybody. You know, Marina, I have to say something about Marina before I get started, because I know Marina. We've been doing some presentations together in the past. And, you know, I've been in this I've been trading over 40 years, and I've seen people come and go. Now, Marina is fairly new in the business, maybe 5 years, 6 years. I think she's actually presented her stuff just in the last few years. But I have to, you know, there's some traders that are great educators but don't even trade, and that's okay. There are some, but I think the best ones are the ones that actually make money, and they can teach. And Marina is in that rare category. So if you have not at least requested what she's asked you to, if you can't get on her list and start to know her, because she is real. And I say that, I don't say that lightly. I'm taking my time, my 45 minutes. It's an hour presentation. I'm going to make 45 minutes, but I wanted to make sure that you understood my view of Marina, and that you know, she's boiled it down to simple, which I'm a huge fan of. That's what attracted me to Marina and her work in the beginning. But I'm just telling you that she also makes money, which is nice to know. So if you're going to learn from somebody, I think it's nice to learn from somebody that makes money. Okay, enough about Marina. How about me? Me, myself, and I used to say as a kid. Well, if you get nothing from this presentation, I want you to at least have my book on mental fitness for traders if you don't already own it. There are almost 300,000 copies. There may be already. I haven't checked this month. Downloaded over about 10 years when I came out with this book. You can get it at thedisciplinedtrader.com/MF, the number 4 and T. And it's about 30 or 35 pages long, but it's a pretty good review of some of the challenges that we go through as traders, and some of the answers you may want to consider to move forward as a trader. All right, so I want to make sure that you write that down. Thedisciplinedtrader.com/MF, the number 4 and T, as in mental fitness for traders. Okay, let's talk about one of my favorite topics, and that's fear. And why is it one of my favorite topics? Because most people most traders who lose, and that's most traders lose, and most of the traders who lose are losing because they are controlled by some form of fear. And I'm going to talk to you today about how to eliminate them, whether you choose to do it with me or you choose to do it on your own. I'm going to give you kind of both ways to do that. Fear is of course going to affect your decision-making capability, and in our business it means following your trading plan. Look, 9 out of 10 traders lose. We all know that, and it's also true that 9 out of 10 traders pay zero attention to the mental and emotional issues of trading. And I believe that those two numbers, those two figures go together. And the reason why most traders lose is not their trading system. You're going to hear Hugh is after me. He's all about the SPY, SPY. It's good to focus on the market. I haven't actually seen Hugh's work in a while, so I'm going to kind of listen to what he's got to say. But the guy after him, Fausto, is all about following the money. And Fausto is the guy. If you've ever seen any murder mysteries or anything like that, not only does he look like the cop that finds the murderer, but he is also the king of following the money. And so stay around for him. But I bring him up because he's another person who respects the idea of the mental and emotional issues, and that's why we've done some things together also. So let's get into it a little bit, because again, my time is limited. I want you to answer this question right now. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to just jot down an answer in the chat, if you would, and let me know your answer to this. What's your primary thought or emotion that has you trade in a way that compromises or hampers your trading success? What primary thought or emotion is getting in your way? What is happening to you when you make a bonehead error? What is the reason that that happens? I would say go ahead and give fear of losing. I'm seeing the answers here. Fear of losing. I see greed. Put it in the questions area. Anxious by Steve. Another fear of losing. And I have no fear of losing my wife. There she is right there. She is, those are all great answers. Worrying you're in the wrong trade. The fear of being in the wrong trade, another fear of losing, because really by being in the wrong trade, you're going to lose. So yes, that's absolutely right, James. We've been married, we're having our 40th anniversary next year. So this is going to be 39 this year. And so I want to congratulate her on putting up with me, but she's also the heart and soul of what we do when we help traders to be all they can be as far as mentally and emotionally fit. The thing about my favorite clients to work with used to be women, because women don't mind looking in the mirror and saying, hey, it's not my trading plan, it's me, it's something that I'm doing. I'm letting those fears control me, and I haven't really done anything about it except for give myself a conscious pep talk and say to myself, hey, don't do it tomorrow. But there are much more specific things that you need to do, and women are willing to look in the mirror and change. They're much more in touch with their emotions, and therefore they're much more in touch with having to alter, change their emotion or diminish their emotion when it comes to trading. But that was my old favorite. My new favorite is athletes, because right now in our coaching business, there are two, a man and a woman. They're both former athletes, and these athletes are making progress so quickly that it's astonishing me about how well now they don't let the fear of losing get in their way. They've literally turned from losers to winners. Now, there's more time I need to stamp them as winners who have control over their emotions and are ready to go. But I will say that because they're athletes, they understand the need for mental training and controlling what they do, and they understand the idea of process. So athletes, I look at traders as athletes. That's the way now that I'm treating everyone. And someone that comes to me and says they can't do some of the simple things that we ask them to do, like close your eyes and listen to a nice subconscious training for 7 minutes, I ask them if they're serious about being a trader, if they're serious about winning. If you can't get yourself to do it, there's something else that's stopping you. So let's talk about that. So, we almost become therapists in some ways, but I'm saying to you that it's about looking in the mirror and understanding why you're doing what you're doing, and then taking action to do it. Here's a little bit about me. I've got 39 years experience. Actually, it's closer to 40 now. I've written several books, one on trading plans, one on somebody put together a book for me about the inspirational quotes of the disciplined trader. That's me. And More Profits and Less Stress. I think it's still available. It used to be a video. It was one of my live presentations at the Traders Expo, which they usually have me first. Because I'm kind of an active guy. Maybe they'll have Marina. She's got a lot of energy next. She's very good to get the crowd going. I've worked for Payne Weber as a commodities specialist. I run one of the largest option firms in the country, the International Trading Group, back in the 80s. I've had my own IB with Hallett Commodities, where I manage several $1 million for big-time clients in the commodity business through my CTA. But for the last almost 20 years now, I have dedicated myself, Tisha and I, my wife and I, for helping traders with the mental and emotional issues. It is a barren wasteland out there to try to find somebody who can help you with the most important area of trading, or at least the equal important area of trading. You got to have a trading plan that's responsible. Okay, and you're going to get one from Marina, you're going to get one from Fausto, you're going to get a responsible trading plan. You just have to find one that fits you. And then once you do, then it becomes a matter of self-discipline. And there's really hardly anybody out there that has the passion that we have. They're authors, but we have put together a program that can help you, whether you do it on your own or not. Okay, this is about something about my wife. She's very well known in the hypnosis area, although we don't use that much in the area for traders. Or I'll show you what we're using mostly now. But is he right for you? She's written books and papers on all kinds of areas over her career of 25 years of private practice and 38 years after she left private practice. For the last 13, she's been exclusively joined me with the Disciplined Trader. You can see those softwares on the left. She's spoken in many cities. In fact, our Golf Mind software and sessions are still used by a lot of professional golfers, and our Sales Mind software is still the #1 subconscious training vehicle for salespeople out there. So we've been all kinds of areas, but in the last 13 years, we've concentrated on helping this guy who was full of fear. And it may not be you, but guys and gals like him, it's all about fear. And I think it's all about, I asked you one simple question, and 90% of those answers were about fear. There's no greater enemy to the trader than fear. Fear is arguably the root of all trading activities detrimental to profitability, not your trading plan. And that's my own quote. Fear rears its ugly head in many forms. And I'm going to give you a few of those forms right now. We've been talking about the fear of losing in a trade. We can mention the fear of pulling the trigger, which is really, you don't want to pull the trigger because you don't want to lose. Most of these fears can be related back to the axiom is the fear of, for you engineers out there, and I know 2/3 of you are engineers, or 1/3 at least out there, the fear of losing in the trade is the axiom. The corollaries are all of these other things that are sub-headlines to the fear of losing: fear of pulling the trigger, fear of missing out on a trade. That's where you that happens a lot of the time after you've taken a few losses, and now you want to revenge trade and try to get back. Fear of having your stop hit. Another fear of losing. If you get your stop hit, it really means that you're losing. Of course, the stops that I like hit are the ones that preserve a profit. But in this case, I'm talking about fear of having your stop hit. Although we have helped a few people recently who got one in particular that I can think of whose major issue was not letting a profit, was not taking the profit when they got it and lifting their stop to preserve a profit. So there's a lot of fear around losing what you have, fear of turning a winning trade into a losing trade, fear of not making it as a trader, which is what happens after you've pounded yourself time after time without facing the problem. The fear of not making it as a trader becomes a big fear, and it really disrupts your life. And for many of us, not for me, it did disrupt my life 30 years ago when I didn't have the same control that I have. But you need to take control. It's really all wrapped up in the fear of losing money. And here's a quote: the most common fear for traders is the fear of losing money. The human condition is that we hold on to money and we don't want to lose it, and we don't lose it. Okay, we hold on to it and we don't lose it. That's the human condition. The fear is long and deep. We're also conditioned to go out to work and make money. So when a trader trades and has a series of losing trades or has a big drawdown, number one, it's mentally and emotionally painful, and two, it can become what's called anticipatory anxiety. In other words, a fear of having it happen again. This leads to hesitation, doubt, and unwillingness to follow your trading plan, and that just causes more anxiety. And this is a quote from Tisha, who she said it to me one day while we were talking. I said, would you just repeat that, because I want to make that a slide. It really says it all. Now, the good news is that we have developed, and I'm going to show you to you right now, an extremely simple and effective two-way strategy, two-step strategy to replace debilitating fears with behaviors that serve you as a trader, so that you can stay on your trading plan and succeed as a profitable traders. Okay, so step one is you need to clear the fears that you have. And the first thing you need to understand is that thought and emotions are married. Till death do they part. I've never said that before. And we'll show you how to make sure that death does part in your emotions and fear. The death of the emotion. The stronger the thought, the stronger the emotion. And in reverse, the stronger the emotion, the stronger the thought. There is no way of separating them. There is a thought, there's an emotion attached to every thought, and there is a thought attached to every emotion. When you separate the thought from the emotion, both will dissipate. And the process that we use to separate thought from emotion is something called emotional freedom technique. Okay, it is an Eastern and Western science of separating emotion from thought. You're reciting things in a conscious way that goes into your subconscious mind, because at the same time you're doing something Eastern, and that's using your fingers, which have points of energy points in your fingers, what they call meridians in your fingers, and then you tap certain areas. I know this sounds crazy for somebody that's not familiar with this, but this is the basis of acupuncture, acupressure, where you're releasing energy. In blocked energy is what is likely causing the problem, health problems and so on. This is what acupuncture and acupressure is about. In the same way, by manipulating the energies in a particular sequence and saying certain statements at the same time while tapping, while taking your fingers and tapping one point at a time, and then moving to another point and moving to another point in a sequence. There's even a point under your arm. So while doing that, what you're doing is you're releasing the energy that is holding the thought to the emotion, and you're separating the thought from the emotion. And this whole sequence of saying certain words and then which are really identifying your issue, and then identifying corrections, and then prescribing corrections of the issue. This is what you're saying. You're actually repeating after us when we do it, repeating after Tisha when she's identified your situation. She will have you tap in a sequence to release the thought from the emotion. And in the beginning, you'll find yourself at a 9 or a 10 as far as the rating of how strong the emotion is when you have the thought. After the first sequence of tapping, most of the time you get down to a 4 or 5 already after one 4 or 5 minute sequence. Done again, immediately after that, you'll have it down to a 2. We like to see you down to a 0 or 1, so we'll give you the recording and ask you to do it on your own for the 3rd or 4th time to get that emotion. And it is a very long-lasting effect, separating the thought from the emotion, because what happens is that when you separate the thought from the emotion, you can't even come up with the thought anymore. And if you put in a thought, but if you put in a new behavior that serves you as a trader, like being patient when you trade, pulling the trigger without hesitation when your trading plan gives you the stimulus to react to. Okay, so this is the first step. Again, the first step is clearing the issue that you're having with fear, and that's done. We do that through EFT. Okay, so that is the first step. The second step is introducing the beneficial behavior, and we do it through something that we're famous for over the years, and that's our subconscious trainings. You see all these little lines right here? These are called neural pathways. When you drop into an alpha brainwave state, and you can do that when you're driving down the road and you miss an exit. All of a sudden you had a thought, you were thinking about something, you were in an alpha brainwave state, and you weren't consciously aware of missing the exit. When you're watching TV and commercials, you're zoomed into so we're doing it all the time. But if you just take a few deep breaths and close your eyes, you can get into a light alpha brainwave state, which is good enough. And the more you do it, the more effective this becomes. And I'm just talking after a few times, because the first time you have thoughts going around in your head, and that's okay too, because if you just do it a few more times, get past those, you'll actually start to really build these neural pathways. See, every time you have a thought and a suggestion is given to you, and you have a thought suggestion, that it creates one of these neural pathways. Okay, and each time you drop into an alpha brainwave state and say to yourself, I'm a wise and disciplined trader, and I do the things that a wise and disciplined trader does. I'm a focused trader who is here to follow my trading plan without hesitation. When my trading plan gives me a signal, my trading plan gives me the signal to take a trade, I do it without hesitation because I'm a wise and disciplined trader. If you have those kinds of thoughts that you are putting into your subconscious mind by getting yourself into a light alpha brainwave state, you are creating these thoughts that are beneficial, these neural pathways that are beneficial to your trading, and enough of them. And I'm not talking about a million of them. I'm talking about 6, 7, 8 mostly times with the same thought, same behavior being carried by the neural pathway. You will create what is this right here, which is a neural net. All of a sudden, this is your subconscious neural net that now controls your behavior, so that instead of doubting a trade when your trading plan gives you the stimulus to take a trade, because before you were being controlled by a neural net that had something to do with fear, or something that happened to you as a child, or something that that you're being controlled by. But the reason you're not taking trades right now is that you have a neural net that's responding to the stimulus that doesn't serve you. So when you build a trading neural net with the behavior that serves you as a trader, then when the stimulus comes, it will replace the old neural net. Now it's your fresh neural net. And if you just do this subconscious training once or twice a week after that, to continue to support this neural net, you will wind up seeing that you no longer have the fear of taking the trade, in the case of, or the fear of losing, and so on. So by slipping into an alpha brainwave state, you can direct specific thoughts, create specific neural pathways, and create enough neural pathways to create a neural net. Okay, and that's what you want to do, and that's what we do for you. So step 2 is introducing the beneficial behavior. Your subconscious mind is responsible for carrying out your habits and behaviors automatically. To change your behavior, you must influence your subconscious mind to go in the direction of your desired outcome. Okay, now I've given you a lot there to think about. I've talked about I talked about the thought and the emotion that are together, and using EFT, emotional freedom technique, to separate the thought from the emotion. And once the thought and once the emotion has dissipated from the thought, you're then ready to put in the good stuff that you want. We have sessions on things like patience, overcoming fear and greed, treating your trading as a business. I think that, it's too many traders, when they make money in a trade, it's okay to lose that money because it's profit, and somehow that's okay. But you're in a business, and when you make money in a trade, that's income for your business. When you lose money, that's the cost of doing business. You've got to see it as a business. So we help you to see yourself and be a professional trader. I'm going to take a breath right here and ask if you've got any other questions. Yes, we're fans of Ortner. I'm glad you mentioned it. We know him very well. We actually trained, Tisha actually trained with a guy named Callahan, who is who also is, he's the one that made something called thought field therapy, which was a much more complicated version of the tapping, of tapping those meridians that I just talked about. Ortner helped create EFT. So I'm really glad you mentioned that. I'm going to see if I can scroll this here and see if there's any other questions. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions. Sounds like you Yes, okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, let's continue. All right. So now you know. Now there are a lot of you can go on YouTube or whatever, look up EFT, and you'll see actually EFT is now the go-to therapy for helping post-traumatic stress disorder for Vietnam veterans and even now during this pandemic, to nip it in the bud. We've done actually work on the side with first responders, but I'm talking to you about the effectiveness in this therapy, and it's literally immediate. Okay, so let's continue. If I was offering you unlimited one-on-one coaching for a year, and I'm going to show you something right here, but there's some lessons inside this, so don't go anyplace. If I offered you one-on-one coaching sessions for a year, unlimited number of them, I'm sure that, okay, yes, okay, I see. Yeah, I know it sounds unbelievable. We call it laser coaching for traders, okay? Personalized mental and emotional management. These are, and the way we can do it is they're 15-minute one-on-one coaching sessions that focus on, that emphasize, that really emphasize what we do is we have the first session that we have with you is a 30-minute session. And in that 30-minute session, we discover your fears and the order of the fears. We haven't had one person that didn't have a layer of things going on. And so we prioritize those. And by having 15-minute coaching sessions, we can hit them one at a time, taking the most predominant one first and moving on. Okay, so 15-minute unlimited coaching sessions for a year. We isolate your predominant behavioral issues to eliminate. Then we prioritize them in the order of importance. This is what it looks like when we have the one-on-one sessions. There's Tisha actually doing some tapping or explaining it after this was done. That's Chris, who's one of our coaching clients, who you can see, I picked the smiling face because this is apparently after he released the fear, and it is. And he had a fear of, he couldn't even get himself to sit down and trade. And so we really, although he has the excellent, and that's the crazy part about it. Most of the people that we coach have the wherewithal, have the elements, have what it takes to be a good trader. I've seen it all. Because if you come into coaching, then you say to yourself, hey, I want to solve this problem. I want to get rid of the fear and what's stopping me from, I know I have a good trading plan or even a pretty good trading plan. I just want to get out of my own way. And when you say that, once you join a coaching like ours, you're saying to yourself, I'm serious. And therefore, results seem to happen very quickly, as they did with Chris. But I wanted to show you what the picture looked like. We use Zoom, of which most of you understand now. With unlimited sessions, you get timely and immediate support. If you have a lot of these coaching situations where it's not one-on-one and it's not unlimited, you got to wait for the next month's gathering or whatever. That's not the issue here. You can get immediate support. If something happened, you made a bonehead trade right now, get on the site and just make an appointment. Boom, and we'll be seeing you a day or two later. So you don't have to wait a week or months when something comes up for you. Laser coaching process gives you fast results for the most pressing issue first, leaving plenty of times to work with other issues that are holding you back when developing positive habits to replace the former destructive habits. It's delivered to you on our online meeting. I just mentioned Zoom, and you can take it on your computer, your laptop, or your smartphone. We've had a lot of people taking it on the laptop. A lot of sessions we've seen it be given in hotel rooms. Not recently, but yes, there's one recently happened to be in a hotel room. You can use your smartphone. Probably 1/3 of the people we coach use their smartphone. We have an app for you to do that. So here's a Disciplined Trader coaching program, unlimited 15-minute coachings for a year, okay, with email access to us. A lot of people don't take advantages of that, but some do, and it's open to you if you're kind of an email person. After a coaching session, maybe you have a question you didn't talk about, you didn't want to wait for the next coaching session, shoot me an email. I get right back to you. After each coaching session, you're going to receive a recording of the session. I mentioned the tapping. You can do the tapping on your own if that's what it is. And you'll be able to review the advice that we give you in the coaching. And we also give you the notes. Some of the things that we've asked you to do as an assignment between coaching sessions in order to build some of those neural pathways in step 2 that we talked about. And so you take your session, you do whatever assignment, and then you book your next session, okay? And again, I mentioned to that the first session is 30 minutes. All right, here's a guarantee for you, and then I'll get to any questions. This is the first, if after the first 30-minute coaching session, so sign up, put your investment down so that we know you're serious, and be there for the first one-on-one 30-minute coaching session. If after that coaching session, you don't believe that this program is for you, we will happily and immediately refund your money. It's as simple as that. We are coaching now 26 people, I'm sorry. 26 people. We decided we want to get to 30. Yesterday we decided, because I had actually closed this off because we're going up in price. We're doubling the price on this. And we actually announced it to my list that it was closed, but this is the only open session that you can get the former price on, because after this we're going to double the price, because we really wanted to see how many we could take. Listen, 15 minutes a session limits the time. We've been having a little trouble staying to 15 minutes, to tell you the truth. They kind of bleed over to 20, 25 minutes much of the time. But what I'm saying is that it's a lot of our time. So we don't, and we have a life too, but we want to help. So we're moving mostly now we're going to start to move to group coaching, but I wanted you to have the opportunity to have the one-on-one coaching. If after the first 30 minutes you don't like the first coaching session, and we have not had one person yet out of 26 that have asked for their money back. There's nothing like what we do, but it's there for you if you need it. Okay, and here's a couple of bonuses. I won't spend a lot of time on these other than to say that before we started coaching one-on-one, this was how we train people in a do-it-yourself way, that we have videos and so on. Didn't involve EFT. That's kind of a new addition and a timely, futuristic type of addition that we're giving you right now. But access to the Disciplined Trader Mastery Program for a year. This is where all of the subconscious trainings hang out. So this is why we have to include it really with the coaching, because we want to make sure that you have access to all our subconscious trainings, which is that step 2 that we talked about, which is actually exists in the core module. I do want to mention one of the bonuses in the bonus module, and that's 92 ways. If you're not journaling, you need to start journaling. We teach you how to journal. This actually has. I asked 100 people random at the time that are in this program, the Disciplined Trader Mastery Program, which is a $49 a month program. That's why it's valued at $588. And we asked them to give us samples of their of how they journal. There are no two journalings alike. A lot of people resist journaling. I don't know how to journal. I've printed out 92 ways that you can journal. So that's no longer going to be an excuse. Here's bonus 2, okay? Access to all of our 4 simple trading plans. Here are the first 3 that we came out with about 4 or 5 years ago. And you can see in these simple trading plans, they fit on one sheet of paper. You can use these trading plans as is, or I think you'll see that the technique, and usually a single combination of technique, 2 techniques combined, give you the simple trading plan, and you can utilize those in the trading to enhance the trading plan that you now have, if you have a trading plan that you like. So we give you that. We're also including a 4th simple trading plan that I made up last year that's going gangbusters right now. And if this was an hour presentation, I would show you the chart, and I would show you some of the fact that it caught the big down move in the Dow and the big up move in the bonds. And I mean, there were several trading plans that did it, including Loaded Gun and actually big SP1, Simple Trading Plan 1 caught it. But I wanted you to have this because this is the one that I've been using now for almost 4 months now exclusively. You're going to get the Loaded Gun trading plan also, which is a very simple trading plan using a candlestick technique along with an exponential moving average in combination. It's so accurate. Here's what clients are saying about what we're doing as far as our coaching is concerned. I recently started, this is from Todd. There are actually 2 Todds I'm going to show you here. This is Todd number 1. I recently started working with Norman and Tisha with their laser coaching program to help me be a better trader in person through changing some habits that could cause me not to be at my best. Their caring and dedication to helping you get there is very evident, and slowly I'm starting to see a difference in myself. And since this is only the first month, he wrote this a couple of months ago, he's doing gangbusters right now, but this is just after the first month. It's amazing. I can't wait to see what the future holds for me. It's really good to have met them, and I'm better for it. Lovely people to work with. Keep up the great work. I mean, we care. I guess I wanted to show you this one because we care about what's going on. We care about what's going on with you, and we are one of the few that can help you maybe tweak your trading plan a little bit on my end, and help you with the mental and emotional issues on Tish's end, all in the same session. I mean, there is no combination on earth that are like what we do for you. Look at my reputation online. Look at our reputation online. I believe that you will only find very excellent reviews. So, and we like to keep it like that. Here's something from Mansoor, who is in India. He said, he's in Canada, but he's from India. Just a short note to say thanks and express my gratitude to Tisha and you for an immersive and very helpful first session. I already feel lighter, and it's rekindled hope that I could go to the next level in my trading endeavor and in life in general. I'm glad he mentioned life in general, because when you're patient as a trader, you wind up being patient in all other parts of your life too. So this is going to help you as a byproduct in your life anyway. So I really help Mansoor for that. And this came in just recently, and this is the most recent that I'm showing you. There's a couple that came in, but I didn't post them. This is on March. This is from the other Todd, who's in California. Actually, no, he's not in California. He's in New York. I was going to copy Tisha on this email, but I was not sure of her email address. Attached is my trades from this morning. I'm not expecting you to fully understand my trading plan, but I do want to show you that the amazing results after one session. To be honest, I was very skeptical to the EFT methodology. However, seeing that I had most patience and discipline in a very long time, and basically followed my trading plan exactly today, I'm very impressed, to say the least. Clearly, one day of trading doesn't mean or prove anything, but the results today were outstanding. Thank you both for spending the extra time with me yesterday. I look forward to the next session, as well as receiving the video from yesterday's session. I put this up because you know, sometimes it's great to be disciplined, but it's got to result in money, and it will result in money if you have a responsible trading plan. That's what happened here after the first session, and he's had, I think, 10 sessions since then, as we're keeping the ball rolling in his momentum. There are no deep set problems anymore with Todd number 1 or Todd number 2. Both these guys, they're making sessions every week, and you can do that. Mostly it's every 2 weeks or month, whatever you want. Unlimited trading sessions are up to you. These two guys wanted fast results, so they're doing one with us every week. They're doing the assignments that we're asking them to. They're watching the recording, and they're watching the recording to do any tapping to get them down to a zero, those extra 2 or 3 times, and then they're doing the subconscious training to put in the good stuff and build those neural pathways, creating that neural net that served them as a trader. In the case of Todd, he did it very quickly with the area of patience, and he was the most patient and disciplined he's been in a long time. So we're really proud. And it's not us. Everybody that you see that's responding to it, they're the ones. You're the ones that you deserve the blame for where you are right now, and you will deserve the credit for changing your psychology around trading and turning it around. So here's my offer to you: unlimited 15-minute coaching sessions for a year, valued at $39.97. It's actually going to be a little bit more than that. I mentioned we're doubling the price, but it's going to be between $2,000 and $5,000, which we're deciding on that right now. We're actually taking a poll with our current traders that were in the coaching to see what they value it at, so that we can even get a better idea. But for you, it's going to be different right now. Access to the Disciplined Trader Mastery Program. Again, this is what put us on my. This used to be a 12-set cassette recording. It used to be in a box that we mailed out, and we sold it for $19.97, and we sold hundreds of them. If not, I think we sold 1,100 of them over a 3 or 4 year period. And I'm just saying to you that now that's $49 a month, so that's why I'm giving you the current value of $588, but it's worth much more than that. And of course, the simple trading plans. You know, if you need a trading plan, there's no value great enough if you have a trading plan that fits you. Okay, which is why I like you to see different. Which is why I want you to check out Marina if she connected with you. Talk to her and Fausto at the end. If you're a person that's into chasing the money and you believe that where the money is controlling this market, you want to wait till Fausto. So have a good trading plan. Okay, I got some for you. They've got some for you. Have a good trading plan. But we are the people that will make it work for you because we're the ones turning your head around. Okay, and we really want to help you. Okay, so instead of the total value of $53.79. It's going to be, and there's 4 more we can take. I mentioned we have 26. There are 4 more left. We're willing to go to 30 here to stop the music for right now, okay? And see what 30 feels like. We've just put on another 6 people. 10. We wanted 10, and I held off the last 4 spots for people here because I love Anna so much, and what she's doing for the community. Some of the people she brings together are just fabulous. So $9.97, and here's the link. So write this down: thedisciplinetrader.com/get laser. You're not going to see an explanation, except for what you're going to see is a listing on the shopping cart of what you get. I've even thrown in, there we are, the unlimited 15-minute coaching mastery program, simple trading plan, and you're going to go here to buy it. Okay, if look up just Google me and get the trust going, because we are the people that can help you make your life different. You know, Marina travels around the world. She's in Guatemala. Here's a woman that is living the dream, and that is because she is a disciplined trader. Okay, you can be a disciplined trader too. I've visited 72 different, make it 73 different countries, because I love to travel. I can only do that because I have my laptop with me and I can trade wherever I am in a hotel room, and everybody has access now. And I'm just saying to you, live the dream, but you got to get your head together. It's not going to be enough having a good trading plan. Okay, and we're going to help you to do that with unlimited coaching sessions for a year. $9.97. There is the link, thedisciplinetrader.com, get laser. Okay, any final questions for me? I think we just have about 3 minutes here. If I've got any questions at all, this would be a good time to ask them. Otherwise, I will hold my peace, except for to again let you know that Fausto follows a couple of in about 45 minutes. Now I know Hugh. I don't know Hugh personally. I know of Hugh. He's been around trading a long time. I've heard good things about Hugh. But he concentrates on the SPY. So you want to be around for him. Okay, people who focus on one thing, I find, are pretty good at what they do. So Hugh is next, and you've got Fausto, who is the best dressed guy in trading. So any other questions? Otherwise, I am out. You see any questions, Anna, or is that about it?
Let me see. Just
sometimes I'm not. I don't use this platform much.
Do you have statistics about the success ratio of this program?
What is the success ratio to? What is the question again?
Do you have statistics about the success ratio of this program?
Well, the statistics are 100%. I mean, I'm not going to say 100%. I'm saying that if you listen, I'm not responsible for the trading plan that you have. I'm only responsible for making you stick to your trading plan. If you're a person that has a good trading plan and you want a program to stick to it, knowing that if you can stick to your trading plan, that you will be successful, the answer is 100%.
One more question from Thomas. Is there a money back promise?
Yes, the money back guarantee is what I stated before, which is if you pay your money, because you've got to have skin in the game, okay? And then after the first session, If you don't believe after that first session, the first session is over, and we'll say how'd you like it? Did you feel that you think that it's worth it? You'll either say yes or no. And if you say no, we will thank you for giving us a chance to show you what we have, and we will hang up, and then I will immediately refund your money. So after that first session, if you don't believe that you are on your way to being a wise and disciplined trader, you will get your money back.
Well, thank you so much, Norman. I don't see any more questions coming in. It's always the pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you, Anna. So nice to be here, and I really like this lineup today. So stick around for Hugh and especially Fausto too.
Let's move on and bring to the show our next presenter, Hugh Grossman. He's the first time on our show. Hello, Hugh.
Hey, how are you, Anna? Good to have you here. Good to be here, I should say. So, good afternoon, everybody, or good morning, or good evening, wherever you are. All those things. Thank you very much. Those kind words, Norm. They're all lies. They're all lies, folks. Oh my gosh. Learn to trade while stuck at home, and I guess a lot of us are doing that right now. And it's Thursday, April the 30th. We've got a few more months, I think, before we get out of this mess that we're in. But there's some really good things to come out of this. And I think one day you're going to look, turn around and look and say, wow, look at this. I took that opportunity and I learned how to trade. My name is Hugh. I'm the head trader and trainer for daytradespy.com. But to be clear, ladies and gentlemen, I also take the garbage out, so don't let that fool you. Special thanks to Anna and InvestorExpos for giving us this opportunity to make a presentation here this afternoon. I really appreciate that exposure. So that's really kind of nice. So this afternoon, what we're going to talk about, I hit four sort of areas here. Why SPY options, your best choice for today? You may or may not know, it's all we trade, and I'm going to go over that a little bit. How to safely trade and profit in volatile times. And I got a simple strategy you can use right now. And your next steps in becoming an expert trader. All right, the little guy's he's pretty excited there. They're writing all those check marks. So we're going to move along. But first of all, I want to mention to you, I want to welcome everybody here. And I know there's probably a lot of new traders, novice traders, a lot of traders just kind of kicking the tires, trying to see if this is for them, and right up to all the expert traders who know everything. They've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. Now they're just looking for something extra, maybe a little consistency or some security or whatever you want to call it in trading. So we actually cater to both sides. But if I talk about anything, for example, for you new traders, you don't understand, don't worry about it. You're really not missing anything. And for you experienced traders, if I get a little elementary, please, I ask for your indulgence with this. So I'm trying to can cover the whole broad scope here that we have. So excuse me, we day trade options on SPY, SPY. That's all we do. That's the one thing we do, period. Okay, because a little bit of a background for myself. I go way back in trading, and I started with equities. I looked at futures. I looked at forex and different things. I kept coming back to options, and even that I honed down into this one real laser beam strategy that just really works very well for me. And in fact, this whole business of day trade SPY started by accident. When people started asking me, Hugh, you're bringing home all the toys, vacations, cars, houses, airplane, what's going on? You're obviously onto something. I said, well, I'm trading SPY. And he said, well, can you show us? Can you put something up on a website so we can see what you're doing every day? And it all started with that. And the rest is history, as they say. And that was 10 years ago. I'm supposed to be kind of retired here, but I love this so much I keep doing it, and I just love teaching people this stuff. So, but that's all we do. SPY, one stock, one strategy, 1 hour a day. And we walk home with a pretty respectable profit at the end of the day. At least that's the plan. Does it always work? Honestly, no, not always. Okay. All traders will at times lose. All right. And if anybody ever tells you they never lose, they are lying to you. All right. But we have ways of fixing our bad trades and ways of determining when to actually exit a position if it really does look so bad, there's no way out. But I don't take losses very easily anymore. I'm going to be honest with you on that. And so we don't really have a lot of losses anymore. Once in a while we do, and usually they're high risk trades. Usually they're going to be very high risk trades. I tell people that. Listen, I'm getting into a high risk trade. Don't follow me, but my risk tolerance is going to be different than anybody else's, perhaps. I mean, everybody's risk tolerance is going to be different. So be very careful. Never, never, ever, ever invest more than you can afford to lose. Do not ever put your rent or your mortgage money or something online. It doesn't work. But anyway, over the years, and again, on May the 10th, actually, interestingly enough, in about 10 days, we will be celebrating our 10th anniversary of being in business, which is from what I'm hearing, is pretty good in this business. So, but we learned a couple of things about trading and training. So we sort of mastered both, and I think that that's pretty good. All right, so why SPY, you ask? Why? What is the lure with SPY? Well, I'll tell you. First of all, SPY tracks the S&P 500, so the top 500 stocks are there. I just took a screenshot of the top 20 stocks on the SPY roster here. This is by weight, and what I like about there's Microsoft at the top, 5.65% on the weight scale. Excuse me. Followed by Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Berkshire Hathaway, Johnson Johnson, Google. So what I like about this, you're covering all the sectors, all 11 sectors here. You've got they're all there. This is the most diversified stock you can have. People sometimes ask me, well, why don't you diversify? So, well, I can't think of a more diverse stock to trade than SPY. They're all covered in here. And what I like about it is, like, for example, let's say for some reason Microsoft suddenly went down. It just went bankrupt for who knows why. All right, now that in and of itself should not affect SPY all that much because it's only about 5 or 6% of the weight. Now the reality is, of course, because there are a lot of stocks connected to SPY and Microsoft. So if Microsoft goes down, you can be sure a lot of other companies are going to go down too. But we're just saying how the beauty of the diversification is that you do very much protect yourself in having that diversification. So we've got diversification in stocks. And by the way, that's the top 500. So we always recommend stay away from the junk, the garbage. Okay, don't get involved in penny stocks. You will lose your money on that one. So stay with the good stuff. Stay with the good stuff. And I can't think of a better stock than SPY. SPY is the most liquid stock out there. Yesterday, it traded almost 119 million shares. And by the way, several weeks ago, I saw this thing back up over 450 million shares in one day. That's huge. It's very, very liquid. Now, that's important because if you buy an option, you want to be able to sell it. And that's the reason. The worst thing you want to do is get into a stock like a Roach Motel and you can't get out of it. It's the most traded stock, very affordable. You can actually get into this thing for about $100 a contract. And you can actually control 100 shares for about $100. And it's also very exciting trading, and it's also very profitable. And I'm going to give you an example here. Over here on the right side of the screen, you'll see high and lows spreads. Now, this actually came from yesterday on the calls. And for those new people who don't know what I'm talking about, for options, you only have to remember two kids. All right, you can have two kids, a boy and a girl. You decide which one's which. Look, if you expect the market to go up, you buy a call option. If you expect the market to go down, you buy a put option. Call up, put down, very easy. What are options? Options are actually contracts. They're contracts. You're contracting with the person selling you the option that enables you to trade the underlying stock for a certain price by a certain date, but you're not obliged to. So I'm just showing you the spread here between the lows and the highs yesterday. And take a look at the lows here, 5 cents to a high of $1.34, 1 cent to a high of 79 cents. I got to be frank with you folks. When I started doing this, and again, I didn't start out as a business. I was trading on my own. And I'm sure like very, very many traders, okay, I threw in the towel a dozen times, if not more. Okay, this is just not working out. What's going on here? This is a horror story, you know what? But I kept coming back. I kept coming back for two reasons. Number one, I realized that you can make money both going up and down. And you don't need a lot of movement in the stock to make a lot of money or pretty decent money in the option. And then I always look at these highs and lows. I spent hours poring over these numbers every day. I'd see these numbers. 5 cents for a low, a high of $1.34, a penny, 79 cents. Look, I'm not trying to make thousands of percent profit. I'm only trying to get 5 or 6 or 7 or 8%. I'm not forget the hundreds or thousands of percent. Can I not make 7%? So I realized there is definitely a way of making money in this business. Just got to kind of figure it out. I also like SPY because it can be very exciting trading. And we do an expiration day trading session every second Friday. But during our trading room sessions, we look at safety. So you've got this range from very, very safe trades, or as safe as they can be in this business, to very exciting, high risk, high potential, you know, make it big or go home broke kind of a trade, and it's very exciting. So now more than ever, well, why trade SPY now? First of all, you can work from the safety and comfort of your own home. That's pretty good for social distancing, right? And you don't have to worry about that. And actually, you can still make money. You're not strapped without a job or a business or something. And by the way, this now more than ever, this is a horrible time we're in. I don't have to tell you that. You hear it all the time. It's just there's no other news out there. This overshadows everything for this global pandemic. But a lot of people, and I talk to a lot of people, and I hear the tears coming through their eyes. Oh my gosh, we had this family restaurant, and it's been in the family for the last 50 years. People line up every night to get in here. We're doing well, and all of a sudden the government tells us to close. No end in sight. How long can we keep going for like this? We don't know. Uh, with trading options from the comfort of your home, you don't have that problem. You can work whenever you want, as much or as little as you want. Never any punching a clock. There's no overhead to consider except your computer, which you already have, and an internet connection. You have no inventory that you have to buy, process, store, or sell, especially to family and friends. You have no employees or government agencies to appease. You have no customers to procure service or try to collect from. Good luck with that today, right? And you can actually start with a little bit of money. You don't even need a whole lot of money to start, but the potential is actually unlimited in this business, and you are actually rewarded for your skill. And you also have some favorable tax concessions. So I would think that trading SPY is just the best business to be in. Just like Norman said earlier, treat this as a business and it's going to pay you as such. The power of options. I absolutely love options because, and as soon as I discovered them, I knew it's like I came home. You ever have that feeling you come home? Okay, you limit risk. The way we trade, right now, I want to stress this because there are many different strategies trading options. But the way we trade, you can only lose what you put into the trade. We don't trade any spreads. We don't go with any naked positions. None of that. We buy first and then we sell, both calls and puts. So you are limiting your risk. The moves that we have are quick, generally speaking. We like to go for the quick moves, get in, get out, make our money, go on with the rest of our day. And the leverage is absolutely phenomenal with options. Now, that same leverage that makes you a lot of money, all right, is going to be the same leverage that can cost you a lot of money. So you kind of have to know what you're doing in this business. Very, very good reasons to trade options because of that amazing power. I mentioned calls and puts. Even in these high volatility times, there exists many times potential gains in both calls and puts. I pulled this screenshot up from several days ago. Take a look at the lows and the highs. I look at this stuff and I just scratch my head and say, look at this. Why is anybody having any issues here trying to get 5 or 6 or 7%, 5 or 6% or percent? And I guess in a lot of ways, I'm going to give Norm Hallett the credit on the fact that he's one of the few people who are actually talking about the psychology of trading. And I'm going to really stress that the difference between making a lot of money or some money or respectable money on a consistent basis is actually between the ears, folks. Okay, it's not the stock market. The stock market is actually your friend, not your enemy, not your adversary. And it's a matter of understanding yourself to do that. But these are the reasons that I got into this and stayed into this, and I'm doing well in this because of the amazing leverage of options. So some people may not know, well, what exactly is it? You follow the stock, but you're trading options. What's going on? So I'm going to give you a quick comparison here as to the difference between stocks and options. So we mentioned about getting into this business with a relatively small amount of cash. So let's say you want to control 100 shares of SPY. These days cost you about $294 a share. Now, just for the sake of simplicity, I'm not going to consider commissions here, okay? So it's going to cost you $29,400 to buy 100 shares of SPY stock. That's a lot of money for a lot of people, right? Especially these days. If you still want to control 100 shares, you can actually buy one contract for about $2, $2.10. I just took that number from one of the option chains. So let's consider $210. That gets you into control 100 underlying shares. So now let's say the stock moves up $1. The stock moves up $1. So now your $29,400 value becomes $29,500. But if you held the option and the stock goes up $1, there's this thing called the delta. It's one of the Greeks. What it is a factor that relates the option value to the underlying stock. So in other words, if the stock goes up $1, you've got a 50 delta, well, your option goes up 50 cents. They might feel like you're getting a little ripped off, but take a look at the leverage here. All right, and you're going to see. Wait a second, I paid $210 for this for the stock and the option, and now it's going up 50 cents. Well, now my value is $260. Well, the return on investment here with that $1 move on the stock is 0.34% for the stock and a whopping 23.8% on the option. That is the power of options and the power of leverage. So that's why most people that I know, if not everybody, once they get into options, they never go back to stock. Why is that? There you go. Trading in volatile times. This is the most volatile time since October of 2008. This chart here, by the way, charts are courtesy of TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim. This chart actually shows the VIX. Now, the VIX is a volatility index. When it goes up, it tells us volatility is high. I don't generally use the VIX because I just find that the VIX and the SPY price run concurrently. So yes, I know that volatility is high. I can see that. I don't need the chart to tell me, but I'm just showing you here from a historical standpoint that what's happened here in the last month or so, late February, the volatility shot straight through the roof. And this is actually the highest it's been since October 2008. That's huge. So how do you trade this? How do you trade this? And I know a few people, more than a few people, actually really lost a lot of money in this business. Well, here's what we do. First of all, you need to stay positive. Very important to stay positive in volatile times. And if you're in the trading world, this is imperative. It's all mindset. Stay positive. So how do you do that? Well, first of all, separate fact from fiction. Whenever some major event happens in the world, it doesn't matter what it is, there's rumors that are flying, there's all kinds of misinformation, there's a million things that go wrong. And even with this coronavirus, you know, the information we're getting is so scattered, and it's almost impossible to kind of, you know, track it and even know what to do. Some places say, oh, you got to wear a mask. Well, you can wear a mask unless you don't want to. But if you do wear a mask, you know, wear this kind of mask, and it protects yourself, it protects the other people. There's so many variations. Social distancing. Well, can you have 50 people? No. Now 5, no, 10. Depends on where you are. Depends on what you do. You know, are they family, not family? You know, there's a million things. Try and establish fact from fiction so you actually walk into this business sort of knowing things instead of just reacting to other people's opinions, because that's really what it is. Identify a positive in your life. Even though the world might be going to, you know, going to the proverbial hell in a handbasket, okay, there are a lot of positives in this world. I woke up this morning. I thank God right away. My gosh, you know, I'm in a really nice place. I have lots of food in the fridge. I've got a nice family, a nice wife. I've got I got a lot of nice things. I got hot and cold running clean water. I've got, you know, I've got cars in the garage with lots of gas in them. I've got, you know, access to things. I've got a high-speed internet. I've got equipment that works. I am probably 98 or 99% ahead of the world today. You know, I've got my health. I can't ask for anything more. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Get into, you know, find a positive. And if really you don't have any positive, go back to yesterday, go back to the day before, get a positive, because as soon as you consider a positive, another positive will pop up, and another one, another one, another one. All right. And then create an attitude of gratitude. By the way, if I speak too fast, I apologize. I get so excited and so passionate about the things that we talk about. So if that's the case, just tell Anna to tell me to slow down, and I will. Create an attitude of gratitude. Believe it or not, this actually works. It truly, truly works. When you have gratitude for things, you seem to attract more great things. And I don't know why or how that works, but it does. And just stay positive in these troubled times, because things will pass. We have overcome, this is America, we have overcome many, many things in the past. 9/11 comes to mind. We had 100 years ago, right? We had the Spanish flu. Everything will pass, so will this. Don't forget, the economy was record strong a couple months ago. I mean, I remember driving around, and I think you can all vouch to this. Help wanted signs in every store window. Help wanted, help wanted. You know, we are going to return to those days. Number 2, when major events happen, stop and assess the market. Do not trade. Do not trade. As a matter of fact, I was watching this. I was watching the volume on my options. Actually, not my options because I was not in the trade, but I was watching the options volume, and I noticed surprisingly just how little the volume was. And then I came to realize, wow, the people trading must be novices or amateurs who just don't know enough not to get into this mess. It's just this is a lion's den. You'll get eaten alive on this thing. So do not trade until you kind of get a handle on what's going on, until you understand the situation. Very, very important. Don't get into a trade. And then after that, carefully examine, once you understand what's going on, okay, the new reality is we're getting huge swings on SPY, 10, 15, $20 in some days, whatever that is, all right. Volatility is through the roof. You know, try and get a feel for what's going on. And believe it or not, there is actually still money to be made in high volatile times, but you have to understand all this. That's the stuff that we teach. And then when you're a little more comfortable, enter carefully with lower capital and lower expectations. So if perhaps you're aiming for 7 or 8 or 9% a trade, pare it down a little bit, down to 4 or 5% at first until you're comfortable with risk, okay? Because you kind of want to get that, because things are going to be different now, and paper trade that first until you get a little more comfortable, then enter with some lower inputs into the market. Now, all right, let's go on to the next step. I actually have a very simple strategy you can use right now. You can take this away and run with this tomorrow morning or even later this afternoon, although I wouldn't do it later this afternoon. Start tomorrow morning, all right? This, before I actually get into this, my lawyers told me I have to read this disclaimer. By attending this webinar, you fully understand and accept the financial risks involved in trading securities. The risk of loss can be substantial. You should carefully consider whether such trading is suitable for you in light of your personal investment objectives and financial resources. By accessing this webinar, you understand you're not receiving any advice as to what or when to buy or sell, but are simply receiving information for educational purposes only. Any decisions concerning a trade are solely your own and meet your personal objectives and risk tolerances. You alone are responsible for all your own trading, and past performance does not guarantee future results. All that said, good trading, everybody. So here's the strategy. Use the 5-minute chart. I just pulled up this 5-minute chart, and right here, this is where you're going to enter. I have 2 exponential moving averages right here. That green line that meanders through the chart, that is a 10 exponential moving average. The red line is a 20 exponential moving average. When you see the 10 crossing the 20, preferably do this in the morning, but you can do it pretty well anytime. I took this screenshot from a couple days ago here in the afternoon, early afternoon. That's where you would enter. Wait for that green candle to cross over, close over the 10 and 20. Make sure that 10 is crossed over the 20. So you want to get in there. Right, probably a good time is right where that doji type candle is. Not quite a doji, but where you get those that long tail and long wick. Okay, if you enter right there, that's a pretty good time. And then simply, put it up for sale. Immediately put it up for sale for a 6% gain, because the market's probably going to go up. It might not go up immediately. As you can see, it came down first, then it went up. Ladies and gentlemen, markets do not go in straight lines. They zigzag. They go up, they go down. There's short-term, long-term, medium-term trends, right? You can actually have a shorter, medium-term trend go down and you're going to the upside, but the longer term might be going up. You'll probably going to be okay if you buy enough time. Immediately put it up for sale for, say, a modest 6% gain. Now think about this for a second. You give a point back to the broker for his commissions, you walk away with a 5% net, right? Let's say you do that once a day. Over 20 days, that's 1 month, you just doubled your money, right? Do the math. There it is. In this trade, you'd have been in the 288 call options expiring May the 8th. We bought a little time. I got a week in there. And in 2 minutes, we'd have been out of this trade. This is actually a 1-minute chart. I believe it's a 1-minute chart. Is it a 5-minute chart? Could be a 5-minute chart. Doesn't matter. In a few minutes, you're out of this trade. A few minutes. This trade was actually over in a few short minutes. All right. It'd have been over in a few short minutes. And here are some tips with this strategy. All right. First of all, buy at the money options. Buy at the money options. They're the ones that are going to move the best. I determine for myself, and again, this is for me, and if it works for you, great. I'm not saying it's going to work for everybody, but it works very, very, very well for me. I found that the best balance between risk and reward is the at the money options. You want to buy some time too. Time is your insurance. Buy next Friday's expiration. Get that time in there. Immediately when you buy it, put it up for sale. Immediately put it up for sale. Why? Because if the market moves, you don't want to miss the move. And another reason, if something should horribly happen, your internet goes down, you get a power failure, whatever, You don't want to be stuck holding an option you did not put up for sale. It's sitting on your computer instead of up on the board for the market to sell. Number 4, aim for a modest 6% gain. Okay, if you can make more, great, but you know what? Don't hold out for the moon. Just go in. You can always go back in again. You can go in many, many times in a day. Options are going to fluctuate. They may actually fluctuate against you first. That's what they do. They go up and they go down. Use a GTC sell order. Get to cancel. Get to cancel. That way, like I mentioned, if the market turns on you, not a problem, okay? And consider a repair only if you're down about 40 to 60%. Control your greed, fear, and ego, and be disciplined to not overtrade. This is what I did this morning, folks. I'm going to quickly go through this. I see we're kind of running in a shorter time here a little bit, but I want to kind of go over this stuff here with you. So this morning, first of all, and you can see it, here's the dates and times. I got the 290 calls, made 7.2% in 9 minutes. Then I got into another trade for 6.1% in 8 minutes, 4.4% in 2 minutes, another trade 5.9% in 20 minutes. That's a total of 23.6% done by 10:30 in the morning before most people go for their coffee break, if you're lucky enough to have a job. By the way, we talk about, we talk about learning to trade at home, right? You master this, and you may not want to go back to that job. You know what job stands for, right? JOB means just over broke. And I think what's kind of going on now is proving to the world, and should prove to everybody, that there is absolutely no security in a job or even having your own business, outside business, right? The government can shut you down, right? There could be a pandemic, there could be, and who knows when we're going back. But when you're trading at home, the market's still going to be there. You can still have access to the market with your computer, get in, make some money, get in, get out, and you're good. You're good. Not bad. And by the way, this was done in front of a live audience. All right, this was all done in front of a live audience. Every morning we get together in our inner circle, not our inner circle, sorry, our trading room, and we did this in front of a live audience, so people actually witnessed this firsthand. Folks, do I have your interest yet? I kind of hope I do. And then, of course, the question is this, and this is what you should be asking. If it's this easy, why isn't everyone doing it? A perfectly valid question. This is what I did. I showed people. We're in a live audience when we did this. The answer to that great question is very simple. A lot of people don't know about the strategy. They don't understand the nuances of options. They don't know options. Human nature is to complicate things. I think many of you online know that there are a lot of strategies out there, and then they're getting information overload. I mean, it goes crazy, right? Trying to figure out where the market's going to go. A lot of people don't trust themselves or the system. They don't have the time. They don't want to learn. They're not inclined. They don't believe they have the capital. They're simply not interested. There's a million excuses to not do things. Nobody's ever twisting anybody's hand here and anybody's arm, okay? But if you want to learn this stuff, believe me, it's there. It's there. It's not making this up. The next steps to becoming an expert trader. Let me go back a little bit here first. I kind of want to just kind of go back to this because I think some people are probably interested in what's the deal here? How did this happen? Where are those numbers? I kind of want to look at these numbers again. Let's go back here, these calls. So I got into these I did a couple systems here. I want to tell you that system I showed you earlier, that was primarily what I call my bread and butter strategy. Okay, and we actually we teach that. Okay, and we have a program that teaches that. So that's primarily what I did the first, I believe it was the first couple trades this morning in our trading room. And then I was actually on a one-on-one session with somebody, and we got into scalping. So that's actually another little strategy that we have, scalping, where we go in with a lot of money. Now, this was a demonstration that I did here, but when we do these in real, the scalping is a little bit different. We'll go in with a little bit of money and lower our expectations. So those two top trades in the trading room, the winner circle trading room, we pulled in 7.2 and 6.1%. That's very normal. The next two trades were more of a scalp type strategy, and that's what we came in at 4.4 and 5.9%. Even the 5.9 was kind of stretching it. I think we just got that because the market was on a bit of a tear, so we just kind of squeezed it up another penny or two. All right, so the scalping is a little bit different in that you're going to go in with bigger dollars and lower expectations of a profit. The setups are essentially the same, very similar. Actually, not quite true. The setup on the scalping would be probably triggered off a 1 minute candle more so than the 5. Okay. And again, this is all stuff we teach, but that's why you'll find oftentimes that, we're going to go in different times, different strategies, go after different profits. Now, this last one did pull back a little bit before it delivered, but because we did have time on that one, I wasn't the least bit concerned. And in 20 minutes, it delivered 5.9%. I'm good with that. Okay. And I think that's really, really important. All right, so let's move on here. I just kind of want to get into that. Yeah, a lot of people don't want to get. I don't know why they don't want to get into it. We are a laser beam approach to trading, and I think of us as specialists. Let's say you have a little problem with your foot. You go to the foot doctor. The foot doctor might tell you, yeah, there's 356 bones in the foot, and so many muscles and different things. They know all about your foot. I don't know how many bones. I just threw that out there. They know all about your foot. They may not know anything at all about your heart or lungs or ears or eyes. They're going to refer you to another specialist, right? But you got a problem with your foot, you go to this foot doctor, and he or she will take care of you like no tomorrow. So that's what we do. We laser beam focus on day trading SPY options. And for that reason, I think a lot of people they just don't know. They don't get into it. They don't want to learn. They don't realize that it's actually a process to learn and all the rest of it. So now the next steps to becoming an expert trader. First of all, I think you have to commit. You have to commit to demystifying and simplifying options trading. It's not that complicated. My wife tells me all the time I'm a simple guy, so she must be right, right? I love her to pieces, but it's true. Options are just not that complicated. And I think a lot of people make them a lot more complicated than what they really are. And once you understand what options are, you're gonna shake your hand and say, "Is that it?" And we're gonna say, "Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's all. All you have to do is buy something and sell it for a little bit more, right?" And you're not really trading necessarily the stock market. You're trading other traders. And here's the beauty of this. If I can use an analogy, there are two hunters in the woods. They come across a bear, and they start running. And the one hunter yells over to the other hunter as they're running. The guy yells over, "We're never going to outrun the bear." And the other hunter yells back, "I'm not trying to outrun the bear. I just need to outrun you." Right? We're trading other traders. So as long as there are traders out there who don't really know what they're doing with options, you've got the advantage. You've got the total advantage, but you have to commit. And that's what we look for. We look for people who are willing to commit, right? If you're just going to pop in and out, you're probably not going to do well. And while we will accept you, of course, because we kind of want to, if we can, get you to see something here that's going to really inspire you, that's great. But if I see somebody and they're really not, kind of getting into that mode or whatever to learn or actually, really kind of try to understand, I might even suggest that, you might want to reconsider. I don't want to see you lose your money. I really don't want to see you lose your money. So we're looking for commitment on this. And number two, learn the strategy appropriate for your style and your goals. Now, it might not even be this. It might be something else. It might be something more complicated. It doesn't matter to us. I mean, we have a pretty cool thing going. But whatever that strategy is that works for you, you really kind of need to know that and be comfortable with that. A lot of people are going to have different styles. Some people are going to be more patient than others. Some people are going to want longer term swing trades. Some people might say be still working and they can't watch the market all day. Well, actually, we have a strategy for that too. That's okay. But your goals might be different. You might want to, you might want those home runs every day. Well, then this isn't the way to go. You also have to accept that long-term success is actually a process. All right? There's never going to be in any strategy anywhere anybody who has one ebook or one video, or one session, and suddenly you're an expert trader. That just doesn't happen. There's a lot of stuff that goes on. Align with a competent, compassionate coach who understands you, who listens to you and goes and knows what you need and what you want. That I think is very, very important. And you got to stay with the program, tweak it as necessary, okay? And I think with that, you're going to become very, very successful, assuming you carry it through. Now, you're stuck at home, right? Trading can be very lonely, as you know, okay? Trading is one of the loneliest jobs out there, I think. Now with us, you can trade. You can trade by yourself, but you're not really alone. You need the support, I believe, of a coach, just like uh, athletes. They all have coaches, right? Actors, they have coaches. Singers, all these people, all these professionals, all these successful people, they all have coaches. So a trader should have a coach too. You should have somebody who is going to maybe take a look at your trades, your strategy, your style, your whatever, and say, hey, what are we doing? What are we doing here? And you would be surprised that you may not see the obvious. I've talked to a lot of people where, wait a second, pal, you're over trading. You weren't happy with making 7% on that trade. What would make you happy? If you're not happy making 7% a trade, you did that 4 times a day. That's what, 28%. No, you're shooting for more. You have this thing in your head, you're trying to get 30 or 35 or 50%. You need to see a shrink. Okay. Anyway, no, we're very nice about it. We're here to help you folks. That's really why we're here. Okay. We enjoy this. We thoroughly enjoy teaching people how to trade. So why trade with us? We have the experience you need. We have the personal support that you crave. There's value pricing in everything we do. We're not sitting here trying to lure you in for something small. Then we're going to upsell you into thousands and thousands of dollars. I probably a lot like you. We've been to some of those programs where they hold you up in a hotel and they lock the doors. They even bring in a banker. We'll lend you the money. Don't worry. It's $20,000 or 15 or 11,000, whatever it is, but you got to buy it. Oh, by the way, no money back guarantee either. So it doesn't work that way. Folks, we are approachable, accommodating. All right. When you email us, we email you back soon. We don't send you out to some crony and 3 weeks later you might get something. We have no hidden agenda, any costly upsells. We might say, hey, listen, you got this little package. You might want to consider the inner circle or the trading room, because I think that's going to do you a lot of good. I think you're really going to enjoy that. And you know what? We actually trade what we teach, and we teach what we trade. And we're just a bunch of fun loving people here, folks. We actually have proven programs that work. Okay. We actually have a lot of fun with this too. We really thoroughly enjoy this. We thoroughly enjoy teaching people. Most of all, I thoroughly enjoy receiving all the great accolades that we have coming to us all the time. And the people that are, especially the new ones. I had one guy, Adam, I don't know if he's on or not. He'd been poking around for years. He finally broke down about a little strategy. Yesterday, he reported in the chat box in the trading room that he just made 20%. He's all excited. Today, he did another 7 or 8%. Very excited. Folks, I'm going to tell you what we have. We actually have a special for you, an InvestorExpos webinar special. This is that signature bread and butter strategy program that I told you about. I gave you a very brief sort of a synopsis of the way that works, but the reality is there are some other things that are involved in that. You have to kind of know that direction, and if you have the supporting indicators and the psychology behind it. So there's a little more involved in that, but we've got this video and ebooks with this bread and butter strategy, and I'm also going to include 1 week in the winner's circle trading room. All right, this program is actually about $600. We're giving it to you for $497, but it's a limited time offer. And we're only going to extend this offer until midnight Eastern time, Saturday night. This is not a lot of money. It is going to get you into a program that is going to be a pretty good program for you. Now, you how to repair trades gone bad. We're not going to teach you the scalping strategy or our other famous strategy, the OMG strategy, which is actually out of the morning gate, OMG. And there's a few things. We're not going to get into the psychology of trading, the emotions of trading. All right, but this is going to give you that signature bread and butter strategy that I showed you earlier. Of course, obviously enhanced. And okay, if you're serious about trading, you will recognize a good opportunity when you see it, and you're going to see the value in this and jump on this. But the sale ends midnight Eastern time Saturday. If you need to know more, contact us at info@daytradespy.com, and you can also make payment at www.daytradespy.com. There should be a banner, if not now, very soon from now, on our homepage, which is actually daytradespy.com. Let me see if it's up yet or not. Day Trade Spy. I've got my programmer working on this. Sometimes they don't get to them in time, but I'm going to just see if they are here. This is it right here. The bread and butter essentials. There it is right there. Day Trade Spy's signature bread and butter strategy ebook and video plus 1 week of the trading room for only $4.97. Buy it now, folks. This is a deal that I can't stress enough. This is going to get you up and running. And it's going to give you something to do here while you're, through this coronavirus stay at home. Okay. I should also mention another little bonus that I'm going to give you, and that is this. If your spouse or your adult kids are interested, they are more than welcome to join in as well. No extra charge. I would be honored and elated to actually include them in on our programs with, all under the same banner. And believe me, there's nothing more gratifying than knowing that your kids know how to trade. My kids know how to trade. My daughter, after graduating from university, she thought she'd take off to Thailand for a year, teach English. My brown hair went gray, and then when she came back, she thought, "Oh, I think I'll take another one of these jaunts, another gig in Peru for another year." Well, then I started losing my hair. But when I asked her, hey, listen, how are you for money? I need money. No, I can just go to Spy and get whatever I need. Not a problem. I can't tell you how liberating that is to know that, especially in this day and age when you're stuck at home. Folks, we do have other services too. I mentioned the Inner Circle, Winner Circle Trading Room, one-on-one trading, coaching, actually, training. I should change that to actually training. That's actually training. All right, training. Is that right? Training, one-on-one training. There we go. You can ask us about that. We'll tell you. Be really happy to tell you. Once again, the InvestorExpos webinar special, our signature bread and butter strategy. All right, videos and ebooks. 1 week in the Winner Circle Trading Room, $4.97. You got to get into this thing before midnight Eastern time, Saturday night. It's all on our website, okay? And check it out there. Follow us also on social media, all right? And I just want to give a big thank you to Investor Expo, and also a huge thank you to our frontline workers, EMS workers, those guys, because I am just so amazed at what the work they do, and I don't want you to ever forget those guys, because they are really important to us. So if you or anybody you know is a frontline worker, big thank you. If we have time, I would be happy to take some questions. And let me just see, Anna, I know there's some questions in here, but I'm going to try and actually, okay, here I got it. All right, good morning. Okay, all right, muting. Okay, so these guys are from before. Let me see if you have any questions. I believe there's a question. Is there a money back promise? I think that was probably for the other presenter. But in the same vein, I believe I thought I saw somebody ask if there is a guarantee, and the answer
Let me
is
help you here.
no. It's all. I got it, and I got no problem. About the guarantee. The answer is absolutely there is a guarantee, folks. The guarantee is very, very simple, and the guarantee is this: if you do not know what you are doing in options, you will lose your money. You will lose your money. Whether you come through me or anybody, you need to know what you're doing. Options is not a buy and hold strategy. It is not something that, you buy an equity and you can sell it, you own it, you can will it to your kids, whatever you do. Options are not like that. They're going to expire. They could actually put you in a very bad spot. It's not very good. So yes, do we have a money back guarantee? Are we going to give you money back? The answer is absolutely not. All right. The reason is simple. You need to have skin in the game. The information you're going to get from us is going to be absolutely invaluable. You will always get a lot more information than what's going to cost you. And we want people who are actually serious, who want a commitment. So we don't want those people just kind of bouncing from one to another. And it's not going to work for you either. Okay, it's not going to work for you, because you're going to get little bits and pieces here and there, try and piece it together. It does not work. I think I'm running out of time here. And according to my clock, it is 1:15 Eastern time. So I'm going to thank you all, and thank you, Anna and Investors Expo, for this amazing opportunity to have this presentation. So thank you very much, and I hope to be able to do this again sometime. Thank you, Anna.
All right, so let me just get a little chat back. Can everybody hear me loud and clear? Just give me a chat if you guys can hear me okay in the chat. Good to see you, Renee. Oh, Renee, what's up? How you doing? Renee is one of the best, one of my students, one of the best people in New York and Chicago, show you around the town, as in, one of those people that tell you about the story, about the whole thing about Manhattan and everything else. Great to see you. Hanging in there? Yeah, coronavirus doing pretty bad. I know. Same thing here. But hold on, let me just get this. Oh, there we go. And all right. So with that said, listen, thanks for having me here again. And listen, I got to do a quick little shout out to my buddy Norman there. Norman says, I heard he gave me a nice little compliment early in the day when he was on there. Norman is just a phenomenal, mentor. I actually learned a lot from him also. A great disciplined person with psychology and everything else. Hope you guys enjoyed him. And one thing about being a good, being why we're all here, I want you guys to understand something, that to be a good trader, you got to surround yourself with good traders. And when it comes to about being a good trader, you learn from good traders, and great traders never stop learning. And that's why you guys are here. You got to learn how to trade together and be successful at what we do. So what I'm going to do today, everyone, is I'm going to teach you the secret, my secret weapon of how to trade today's volatile markets. And it's just so damn simple. And you're probably going to sit back and be like, my God, why do more people not talk about this? It just makes sense. Listen, if you have watched me on NASDAQ, if you have watched me on Tastyworks, Thinkorswim, Charles Schwab, TradeStation, they all want you to know one thing: follow the money and just keep things simple. That's what it comes down to it. So I'm going to talk about how to trade today's market crash and how to profit from it. We're going to cover trading psychology. We're going to talk about, well, I'm going to talk a little bit about psychology. The guy that's going to teach you that is obviously was just on was Norman Hallett, the best in the industry. But I'm going to talk about how to scan the market, how to read charts. I'm also going to talk about how to follow the smart money, the KISS method, and the heart and soul of our students of what we're here and what we're looking to do. Now, just to kind of tell you a little about Cybertrain University, and I don't want to kind of bore you with this. I always tell everyone, I mean, can we get right into it? We will, but I want you to understand where I come from. I live here in New York, and I'm a first generation Italian. My parents came here and they said, Fausto, they used to work when Sundays were actually really Sundays and nobody was open on Sundays, and go to church and you're not worried about going to stores. I mean, that was the only time I had a chance to spend time with my parents. Because they were out there working their butts off to give us a better life. But he said, listen, you're in New York. There's a lot of people make a lot of money in here. Could you go out there and find a job that will pay you a lot of money? You could spend more time with your family, and you could be very successful, and use it for the rest of your life. So what was it? The stock market. No brainer, right? Wouldn't you think? So that's what ended up happening. Went out there, learned how to trade. And honestly, I lost miserably. I went out there like an ignorant 22-year-old kid after college, thought I knew what I was doing, and I blew up like two or three accounts. The only way to learn how to trade was actually to go work for somebody. And it was like, and I didn't want to like take the train, go into the city, this and that. But let me tell you, when I started, it was me and my sister Tina. And when she started driving a nice car than me and sitting at the dinner table and started throwing things at me like, hey, did you see Goldman Sachs dumping 20,000 shares of Omega and this and that? And I'm like sitting there like laughing with like I knew what she was talking about. And I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, what the hell is she talking about? You know what I mean? Like, and I says, all right, enough's enough. I got to go there and see what she's doing. And let me tell you something. What I learned on the first day on the job, I should have never made my first trade. Everything I was doing was the total opposite. Not because I was didn't know I was a dumb kid or anything like that. It's just that I was being ignorant. I was being cheap. I didn't want to split the profits, which is like people not learning how to trade. And like it just didn't know that you had to surround yourself with good traders. That's what it came down to it. So that's what my goal is today. I'm looking for people I could train that I can make money with. So you could be part of my family. You got my family on the left and you got my second family on the right. And I'm with these people all day long, especially now with the coronavirus. I mean, we're really with them all day long. But the thing is this: you could have such a great career, a great future, a great life, just trading the market. But to do it right, You got to know how to play the game. That's what it all comes down to. So more than 80% of traders, lack proper tools. And so let's get right into it. And let me start teaching you where we're at. Why do people lag tools? What's the issue? Well, I can tell you one of the big issues. Everybody wants stuff for free. Like, could you think about this for a second? Like, why would you want, how good could it be if it's free, right? I mean, what's the value of it? How, like, do you ever thought for a second how brokerage firms make money on your tickets? They're like, they all offer free tickets. Well, how the hell do they make money at $5 a ticket? They should be given to for free because they can't make it at $5. What the hell is $5? There's a whole story behind that, which I don't want to get into right now. But I will tell you when you come join when I invite you all my trading room, because you need to see it, how they do it. And how they do it is they trade against you. That's how they do it. So let's talk about a stock that had a really nice move that we traded. A stock called INO. Okay. Now look at this stock right here. Stock goes from like $12 up to $15 in a matter of a few hours. Like, how did you know it was going up? Why did it go up? Who ran it up? Why didn't it go to 12? Why did it stop at 13? Why did it have to go to 15? And why did it stop at 15? Did you ever thought for a second what made these stocks go up and go down, everyone? I mean, you think about it. How did stocks go up and down in the stock market? Can everyone tell me? Here I'm talking away. I mean, don't mind me. Let me just take a quick breather because we got a great audience here. Got over almost 200 people. Could you guys tell me, how did things go up and go down? Remember, I don't know who you are, but said it right. Active trader, don't know who you are, but said it right. There we go, James. Supply and demand. Maria, supply. Could everybody here just take a moment and could you all just write S&D, please? Could everybody in here just write S&D? Come on, we got some great people in here. Zach, what about you? Robert, Patrick, Merrick, come on, go out there. Could you just tell me? Just say S&D. All the members, whoever you are. Lee, Joseph, come on, don't be shy. Supply and demand. I want you to remember those two words, supply and demand. You're probably sitting there like, what the hell is Fausto talking about? Right? It's like, listen, I'm going to tell you where I'm going with this, but I all want you to just know we're on the same page. Supply and demand. That's what made INO go from 12 to 15. There was obviously a demand. So how do we find stocks like INO before they move? Looking at what's happening here with the following the dominated market makers. Hold on, let me just fix it. I got to fix one more thing here. The way we find these stocks is through the big percentage gainers and losers. Okay. Now, the thing is this, there's a lot of stocks that are moving, right? There's a lot of them moving, but how do you know which one? You can't trade every one of them. So the big thing is what we do is we got to scan through the market. We got to find which ones. And I do this every morning. Do any of you guys follow me on YouTube or I do YouTube live every morning at 9 a.m. I'm also I post on my Instagram, stocks that are moving. I don't know if you guys ever look up Cybertrade University, but follow us, friend us. I show every stock that we trade, what's moving, everything. All right. So if you get the opportunity to do that. But now the thing is this, how do we know which one is going to break out? How do we know out of all those stocks that are moving, which one is going to give us the least amount of risk with the high amount of reward? Well, there's only one way to answer that. Got to have a game plan. And you got to know where to follow the smart money. That's basically what it comes down to it. So does anybody here use something called NASDAQ Total View? Anyone ever heard of it or use it at all? There's only like one of several of them out there. This is the one that I showcase when I'm on NASDAQ because this is their platform. Anybody here have this? James, you do? Okay. Anyone else? Just give me a yes or no. I mean, you have to, nobody's going to get mad at you if you don't. Erica, you don't? Okay. Anybody else? Agatha, you don't? Okay. All right. So listen to me carefully. What you're about to see right now, I always say this, tell everyone, it's going to be really disturbing. It's actually going to be, you're going to be shocked what you're about to see right now. This is beyond any indicator you ever seen in the industry. This, what you're about to see, is going to tell you exactly where all the buyers and sellers are. You're going to see where everybody's looking to buy stocks and sell stocks. This is where we call where all the dark pools are, the high frequency trades, the algorithms, everything that those things that you were always warned about, now it's going to be exposed. So let me tell you how we read it. Let me get something here. Hold on. I got to just move something here. Let me just move this over here. I want to get my pointer right here so you can follow along. Okay, there's my little dot. There we go. So right here, you got the orders, you got shares, and you got a bid. Now, what you're looking at is all the buyers and all the sellers trading a stock called Peloton. The way it works is this. Whoever wants to buy the stock for the most amount of money is up on top. Whoever wants to buy the stock for less money is down at the bottom. So what you're looking at is at a negotiated system. If you wanted to buy Peloton at, I don't know, let's just pick a number, 34.62, you would be right here, okay, for 200 shares. Let's say you want to buy 100, this 200 would be 300. So you're out there negotiating with the buyers and sellers out there. That's basically what this is, okay? If you wanted to sell it, these are all the sellers out there and at every single price with, you know, aggregated with all those shares of how many orders are out there to sell Peloton. So think about this. Now you're seeing the raw data of all the orders of people buying it and selling it. You stop and think about that for a second. When's the last time you saw all the orders out there? And how much valuable would that be to you? Think about it. Like, I could see every buyer and seller out there in the stock that I'm trading. Why did I not notice before? Well, that's an easy question I always tell everyone. Who really trained you? Because when I started and I lost, nobody trained me until I actually decided to go learn from a brokerage firm that does this, at a trading firm that does this every day. This is how it all starts. Now, let's go back and let's go check out Norwegian Cruise Line, okay? So Norwegian Cruise Line, from 9:50 to about 10:50, 11 o'clock, let's just say, within an hour, it ran from 1420 to 1580. Great move. Beautiful move. Think about it. If you bought 1,000 shares of that stock, right? You're talking about what? About a buck, almost $1.60 you made? That's a lot of damn money. Was that $1,600? Was that over, I don't know, almost $500,000 a year? I'll take that any day, right? Where could you make $1,600 in an hour? Oh, I forgot. That's right. Day trading. Okay. So how do we know it was going to go up that high? And how do we know where to sell it? How do we know we should have bought it? How do we do that? Which all of you guys repeated earlier. Follow the money. How do we follow the money? We have to look at and see where the orders are on total view. So let's look at this stock right here. So Norwegian Cruise Line ran all the way up. And then you notice how it kind of stopped right here at like $15.40. See how it sat there from 11 o'clock? It never wanted to go back down. It kind of held there. You know why it held there? It didn't want to go down? Because if you look down here, there's a 146,000 share buyer at 1536. You let that sink in your head a little bit. Just think about that. 146,000 shares are looking to be bought at 1536. Let me ask you guys a dumb question. How many shares when you do when you trade, how many shares do you trade? How much shares do you put into an idea? Can you guys tell me that? How much? 100, 300, 10,000. Anybody buy 200? Okay. Anybody else? Do I hear 100,000? 100,000 shares, $15 stock. Anybody do that? I hear crickets. Of course, I know it's a dumb question, right? Of course not. But wouldn't it be nice to know who's out there buying and selling it? Right? Think about it. Do you really think you're going to question that buyer out there? Do you want to trade against him or would you want to join him? Well, from what the chart said, I should have joined him because it ran from 15,640 all the way to 1620. I would take that trade any day. So, when is it going to stop? Well, think about this for a second. It went then it went at 1625, but then it came back down. What in the world would make Norwegian Cruise Line go down from 1620? Was it the stimulus package? Was it somebody on the news? Was it Fausto? Who was it? Oh, I know. There was 100. I looked over here on the sell orders, and we got a lot of sellers, 3,900, 96,000 share seller out there at 1625. Oh, what a coincidence. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention, there was only about 119 people that made up that 96,000 share seller. So you honestly going to tell me that this stock is going to 17? It could. Hell, this stock could probably go back to 50 when it originally was at. But let somebody break. Let this guy get. He's got to get through this guy first before anyone else, right? So when you're trying to figure out to be a good trader, you got to know how to have a game plan. Do you guys have a game plan when you get into a trade? Do you know where the sellers are? Do you know where they're buying and selling it? Because I know what people always complain and they tell me. They're like, Faust, I've been trading and sometimes I feel like somebody's watching me. No. Nobody's watching you. You're not watching them. That's the problem. And this is what answers it. All right, let's move on. Okay, you guys ready to have a little pop quiz? Everybody ready for a little test? Let's have a little test, right? Looking at this stock right here, is this stock going up or down? Let's see how you guys answer this question. Up or down? By the way, if you can't answer this question, you better quit. You should actually just log out of the room. You shouldn't even be wasting your time. If you can't answer this question, we got some serious issues. Down, 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 down. Agatha's laughing. You know what? I know it's a dumb question, but you'd be shocked. I get people say the opposite. All right. Can I ask everybody a question? Why is so many people shy to talk? What are you guys afraid of? Nobody could see your chat. Come on, Mike. Mike B. Why are you guys scared to trade? Just tell me. What is it, going up or down? You logged in. You want to listen. You want to learn, right? Tell me. What do you think? Up or down? Now we're starting to get people wake up. Listen, fellow traders, can I be honest with you? I don't need to be here, okay? The reason why I'm here is I hate seeing people lose money. I really do. A lot of you here are stuck and have no choice because of the coronavirus. Some of you here are going to lose your job or probably lost it already. Some of you here are worried about that Social Security is not going to pay enough. Some of you here got crushed on their IRA. Why not ask the questions? Don't be shy. If you don't answer, you're never going to know the answer. So anyway, if you said it was going down, congratulations, you're right. Now, here's a $64,000 question. What is going to make this stock go up? What do we need this stock to go higher? Could everyone answer that one? We need news? No, we don't need news. So if there's no news on, it's going to go to zero? We need buyers. We need buyers. What in the hell is a chart going to tell you where the buyers are? I don't see buyers on a chart, right? Where are the buyers? You see, the problem with a chart, it tells about what happened in the past. It's not indicative of the future, right? How do we predict the future? We know I need to know where to buy. There you go, James. We need total view. Okay, so let's go hop on over here. So here's total view. Here, so we got to look at the buy section. Hold on. Here's the buy section, okay? And what we're looking for is orders. And, you know, we got 500, 800. Holy crap, there's a 219,000 share buyer at 12.16.60. And there are 73 people out there that make up that 200. That is a lot of people. Holy crap. Without even looking at any of these fancy bells and whistles, what do you think is going to happen when we get to 1260? What do you think is going to happen? What should happen when we get to 1260? Do you think? Right? Right, James? Right, Jules? Agatha? It should go up, right? Look at that. Without even looking at anything else, you automatically assume that's going to go up. And you know what? I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Why would I want to question a 219,000 share buyer at 1260? You think I want to be short with a big buyer out there? Well, guess what? What just happened? The stock went from, remember we said it was going down? You were right. What happened? We came up to that buyer. Stock ran from 1260 and went right back up to 1380. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Listen, you could sit there and you could analyze the stock all you want. There's somebody out there looking to buy over $1 million worth of stock. Actually, it's not one person. It's 73 different people looking to do it. Are you going to question that guy? Remember something very important I'm going to tell you. When you always thought somebody's watching you, they're not watching you. You're just not watching them. And that's why 90% of the people fail in trading the market. James, you know what? That's a good question. How about this? What would you do at 1261? Would you want to buy it or would you want to go short? Would you want to go long or would you want to go short? You probably want to buy it, right? Okay, congratulations. You just figured out trading 101. Does that seem hard? By the way, is anyone confused? Anybody confused? Good. Good. Everybody's catching along. Nobody's confused. Think about this for a second. How long have we been here for? 30 minutes? Think of how much you've learned in 30 minutes. Imagine if you gave me a week to show you this live in the market. I'm just showing you some nice look PowerPoints. Could you imagine what this looks like when the market trades live? It will blow your socks off. So let's have fun again. You guys ever heard of a stock called American Airlines? Pretty big airline company here in the United States. Hear about it, heard about this whole, everything about bailouts and stuff, but that's irrelevant. What's relevant is this. Is it going to make it go up? Is it going to make it go down? Well, the thing is this. Where you own the stock, American Airlines had a nice little run, but when's it going to stop? Where would you want to sell it? So can everyone give me an answer? Give me a number. Where do you think in theory that this stock is going to test the resistance levels? Let's see how you answer this. Eric, okay, you got yours. Erica. That was pretty funny, and Eric and Erica right next to each other. James, John, okay. 1260. Where'd you get 1260 from? That's not a that's a support. I'm asking for a resistance. Look at the sign. Read. That's what I'm saying. You got to read. Where will traders sell this stock? Well, one way is going to answer that question. 1290. Look at that. Think about this for a second. Any of you go out there and trade a stock and actually saw a 600,000 share seller made up of 10 different people? You ever see anyone ever see that before? Think about it a second. How much smarter and better decisions if you had to trade American Airlines and knowing that there's almost a 6 million share seller out there, sellers at 1290. What would you be doing? Yeah, that would be bad, right, James? That would be pretty bad. But I would not want to be long when it gets to 1290. I will actually be looking to take my profit soon. Okay. But let me go back to what people make mistakes all day. They're like, oh, but American Airlines, they got the bailout. The stock was $60. It's only $12.90. It's only $12.90. Maybe I should buy it. Yeah, maybe you're right. But you know what? Let somebody else let it get through that 600,000 share seller first, because that's a lot of shares. Because when you look at overall, there's not really that many orders out there. 200, 500, 1,000, 600,000 shares. Let me repeat that. 600,000. You're gonna question that 600,000 share seller? Give me a break. You want to play against fire? Play against fire. Let's slap in some indicators. Would an indicator tell you that there's a 600,000 share seller on the offer? I don't know, with the MACD, the moving averages, the Fibonacci in there, the 200 moving. No. You know what this looks like? Looks like my kid's first grade dinosaur picture. By the way, I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to put it on my Instagram. I'm going to show you my indicators. Those are going to be my indicators. Looks like spaghetti. But you know what? Unfortunately, James, there's a lot of people who know how to read this stuff. Now, listen, I don't like to knock indicators. I mean, they do work for swing trading and day trading, for long-term trading, but it doesn't work for day trading. I like to day trade. I like to make my days pay, follow the big boys, take the money and run. I don't need to be an analyst. Because guess what? Look what happened when American Airlines did hit that sell at 1290. It went from 1290 within an hour, dropped down to 1230. Lose yourself 60 cents in 1 hour on 1,000 shares. That's a $600 loss. How you could have prevented that? Oh, I don't know. Knowing that there was a guy looking to get out of it. By the way, how did the stock go down? Why to go to 1230? Oh, I don't know. Maybe that guy started hitting the bid. Maybe he started selling it to the buyers and started dumping it. The only way they could explain it. Listen, that is a limit order. What happens if he converts it to a market order? You guys know the difference between a limit order and a market order? Right now, it's a limit. He's limiting, he wants out. No one buys it. There's only one other way. He'll go market, hit the bid, and he'll run that thing down. That's right. And he sure did, Thomas. Tank that thing. Gene has a question. Does order flow show this orders and buyers and sellers? This is the order flow. Wow, look at that, Gene. You're pretty smart. You're getting it now, right? Yes. This is what we do. This is what traders do. I'll prove it to you. You guys ever watch CNBC, the financial station? And I don't know if you noticed, but they actually have their studio on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Do you ever notice when they had like the interview, like the traders on the floor, and they're like looking up on the screen, up on a wall? They're like, what the hell are they looking at? Like, you ever thought about that? They're like, well, you know that we need to. If we're looking at a chart, we got to look at that close. How could they see it like 100 feet away? Because they're not looking at that stuff. They're looking at the numbers. John, how do you get this to SPYs? You type in the symbol and they'll show you the SPYs. Okay. And you know what? At the end of this presentation, I'll even show you live in the market. So the thing is this, keep it super simple. Because look at this example. American Airlines on the daily chart. Stock drops from, hold on. Here we go. Drops, goes to 1180, right? And look, now it's already at 12. Why to go to 12? I don't know. Maybe there's 17,000 share buyer out there now at 1185. Must explain, basically that explains it. It's all about following the money. That's it. what I'm showing you guys is basically, this is like, just don't be defensive of. This is like kindergarten stuff, okay? And by it being kindergarten stuff, it actually now it's like, oh, so how do I get to the first grade, the second grade, the third grade? It's as easy as that. It really is. Now, the next question people get and they ask is like, oh, Fausto, I heard about these, but how do we know they're real orders? I heard that they're fake orders. Listen, there's only one fake order out there, and it's called fake news, okay? There's nothing fake about these orders. These are all real live orders, okay? And if you don't believe me, every single one of you are going to be invited to come to my trading room, and I'll find a big order like that, and we'll use your account. You tell me how fake it is. Let's see if you want to take that chance. So, so let's look at this example right here. Stock right here is at $9. Let me show you how fake orders are, okay? Stock's at $9. Sell orders. There's a 288,000 share seller at $9. Now, you think about this for a second. While looking at anything else, what should happen when we get to $9 with that 288,000 share seller? What do you think is going to happen? Because right now I'm going to explain to you between a fake order and a real order. You should go short, right? It should go down, right, Eric? Okay. The stock actually went to 10, right? How is that possible with a big seller? Well, did you ever thought that somebody actually bought the stock? So look at this right here. Look at the time in sales. Everybody use time in sales? $9, $9, $9. Look, 16,000, 3,000, 1,700, 2,000, 13,000. Look at all these transactions. Somebody said, you know what? You want to sell it? I want to buy it. And then sure enough, it had some type of a resistance around 10:30. But when it got around 12 o'clock, somebody bought this thing and the thing just took off, went to $10. So does anyone know what a breakout is? Ever hear of a breakout? You know, everyone hears about a breakout, but do you really know what it really means? Like, I mean, do you really, really, really know what it means? What does a breakout really mean? Oh, it broke out through resistance. Yeah, but why did it break out through resistance? How is that even possible? First of all, what makes a resistance levels? Oh, sellers. And the only reason why I broke it out and remember, a major resistance mean it must be a major seller out there. And then with a major seller getting executed, made a major run. That is a breakout. So think about this for a second, ladies and gentlemen. Does that seem confusing? Does that seem hard? Because for me, when I was first taught this, I was like, crap, that's all it is. Is trading really that simple? And my mentor told me, Frank Ferrara told me, Fausto, he goes, of course it is. And then, you know, and this is where we lead to. Let me tell you why a lot of people are not doing and using this data. When I started 25 years ago, my mentor said, I said to him, I said, sign me up. You know what? I'm sick and tired of losing money. Sign me up. What do I got to do? You know what he said? Great, no problem. Sign this piece of paper. To get this data costs $1,000 a month. I'm like, $1,000? I didn't even make any money. How many? You want me to dish out 1,000? He goes, listen, you want a $250,000 job? You got to buy this software. It's $1,000. So he goes, yeah, but you know, now it's like you're juggling it. I'm like, listen, INO, if you bought at 7 and you sold it at 9, you just doubled your money. You just paid for the software for the month. What are you worried about? Are you worried you're not going to make the money? No, I would rather, you know, $1,000, you know, back then it's like $3,000 today. Guess what? Doesn't cost $1,000. It costs $9 now. $9. I paid $1,000. I couldn't even imagine paying $9 for this. $9 to see where 70%. Who here would not pay $9 for this data? Does anyone have a problem paying $9 for this data? $9 to see where 70% of the buyers and sellers, $9 to see where the 288,000 share seller is? Agatha says, wow. Of course, listen, Remember when I told you first walked in here, if you're looking for free stuff, you're in the wrong room. You cannot trade for free. No one hires free employees. Okay? Nobody works for free. All right? You want to make money, you got to make an investment. You're not making a $1,000 investment, but $9, are you serious? To find out the real truth about trading? That's all it's going to cost to see if this comes to play. If this actually does work? Yeah, $9. That's it. Because look at the potential income. Look at the potential income. Do you got to make a lot of money to make a successful career in trading? You know, like, I don't know. I get like so like, I hate people that brag. You know, you see people like on YouTube and this and that, and they're like, hey, I made $3,000. Hey, I made $4 million when I was 21 years old. I mean, like, seriously, like, how is that going to make you money? You know, congratulations, I'm happy for you. But how is that going to make you money? Some of us here are out of a job. Some of us here are ecstatic that they got a $1,500, $1,200 stimulus package. Do you really think when is that going to run out? Some of us here they're paying people to stay home for the coronavirus. But what happens when it runs out? What are you going to do? Listen, I'm all forward to making, you know, the 7 figures. Some of you guys here would just be happy to make $1,500, make $50,000 a year, $100,000 a year, and to stay home and do it. Why would you not want that job? Look at that, 500 shares, 50 cents, $2.50 a day. Here's a stock that we traded work. Stock ran right at the open, ran from $4 to $14, $10 move. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. You know what? We don't got to make $10. I'm happy making 50 cents. That's it. Because the ultimate goal is actually trade 1,000 shares. That's what most day traders do. So, to be successful, everybody, Anna had some great presenters here. Okay. And honestly, every single one of you should buy something from all of us, and you should go outside. Every single one of you need to find the right mentor. There's a lot. I'm warning you right now. You go out there and try to do this on your own and think you're going to learn how to do this on YouTube or watch some Facebook, you know, group or something like that. Do yourself a favor. You should start interviewing stockbrokers. Don't mind me being harsh. I'm not a good bedside manner guy. I just get the job done. And the job that I hate is seeing people that I go in front and do presentations and they literally, you know, lose money in their face. Listen, this is like, I do 5 to 10 presentations a week. Okay. And there's not a moment in my life that I want to do more. I will constantly keep pushing it because I love seeing people make money. I hate seeing people and seeing that they're unemployed, not making money, or they gave to some damn broker or mutual fund and they're losing and they're not making money, they're losing money. What do you need them for? You could do it yourself. But you got to find the right person. Now, if this makes sense, why don't you just sample it out and see how it goes? And then you could spend more time with your family. And you could do those things that you always wanted to do. And hell, now you're forced into it. You got to be locked into your house. Market's down 380 points. Do I go long? Is this the bottom? Nah, you got to do your homework, guys. Listen, there's a reason why Cybertrade University has been endorsed and sponsored by more brokerage firms than anybody in the industry, because they watch our traders and they see that we teach our traders how to make money. But once again, it's not, don't believe us. Look at them. And by the way, if anyone's going to teach you, you better make sure they are being sponsored and endorsed by brokerage firms, because every one of these brokerage firms, they do credit checks on us, background checks. Don't worry about doing your own homework, okay? They do it for you. Because the last person they want to get sued is them. Believe me, they don't want that to happen. They don't need the scrutiny. But the thing is this, my job here, fellow traders, I'm not here to teach you how to make money. I'm here to teach you how to stop losing it. My job is not to teach you how to make money. I know that much as you want to hear that. You need to know how to control losses. That's really the big problem. All right. You need someone that's going to motivate you. You need a team of people to trade with. You want to hang out with successful traders. You know, my dad always, I'll tell you an advice, and you probably all agree with me. My dad one day told me when I was going to high school, and he says, son, don't hang out with that kid. He's like, why? He goes, he's a troublemaker. He says, but Dad, I'm not a troublemaker. Doesn't matter. You hang out with troublemakers, you're going to end up getting yourself in trouble. So, and he goes, so Dad, how do I become rich? He goes, you want to know how to be rich? You hang out with rich people. Okay. So if you want to learn how to trade, hang out with good traders. Don't hang out with bad ones. And that's how the thing I want to do is this. I want to invite every single one of you guys to come in my trading room. And I want you to see, don't judge me and my winners. I want you to judge my traders. Look at my traders, how they make money. And this room that I'm inviting everybody into is the original trading room. 20 to 30% of the trading rooms that you see today are my students. Some of them are my instructors. Where do you think they all learned it? From me doing it 25 years ago. And guess what? I hope that I can get every single one of you to hopefully go out there and open up your school and your trading room. But if you want, and by the way, it's never too late to learn. It's really not. It's never too late. There's a millionaire that's born, every 10 minutes, they said. Why can't you do it? You could. So come in my trading room and see what it's all about. Listen to the live audio commentary. Look how we trade in pre-market. Look how we actually take profits. But most importantly, look how we take our losses and how minimal they are. Now, where's this whole $9 come from? Well, that's the trial. $9. That's it. That's all I'm asking for. Listen, I don't make money at $9. Okay. I believe me, $9 is, I'd lose money on $9. And listen, all I'm looking for is people that I could train, that I can make money with. The $9, all it does is tell me if you're a real person or not. I could have 1,000 traders in my room. If you can't afford $9, then obviously, there's no reason to be in the trading room. So I'm looking for people that are serious, people that we could talk to, people we could trade together and get all this great stuff. The crash course, you're going to get the crash course, you're going to get the daily market meetings, your own personal education advisor, everything, all for $9. Now, how do you register for it? Well, all you need to do, and by the way, there's a bonus that's going to come along with this. Let me just go to my website, ctu.co. And right here where it says day trading trial up on top is right there. And let me see if I can put that link in for you. There you go. Hopefully you can click on that link. So what you're going to get for that $9 is you're going to get a week in the trial trading room. And as a bonus, if you register right now, the first 20 people are going to get a free coaching class with me. Now, let me explain something to you. People like asking me like, wait a minute, I don't get this. Why would Fausto Pugliese, 12-time world champion, top day trader in this, why would he want to talk to me for a lousy stinking $9? Well, you know what? I need to interview you. I need to make sure that you know what you're getting yourself involved in if you really are qualified to day trade. And the only way I'm going to know that is that you see other people doing it, if this is something you want to do, and then we'll make a decision and go from there. Because I hate to tell you this, trading is not for everybody. A lot of you really are not really qualified. You might not like what you hear, but I'd rather tell you now than go out there and blow up your account. Wouldn't that be better to have someone do that for you than somebody said, oh, don't worry, you'll make money. You'll make money. Just pay me $200 a month. Just pay me my residual. Just pay. Come on, listen. Is that what you really want someone to tell you? Go out there, come in the trading room. If you're not happy after the week, I'll give you $9 back. Book your appointment immediately, right away, because it fills in pretty quickly. All right. Now, let me see. I got a bunch of questions here, and let me see if I can answer them. And you know what, James, to answer your question, there really is no better time than to do it now. I mean, this is really the best. I mean, you're at the most volatile time of the market. I've been waiting for this for 13 years. Last time I had a market trading like this was in 2008. Do you trade options? From Nick. That would require a $14,000 account, only at 5,000. Listen, Nick, I traded a stock today. Okay, let me show you something. Let me blow you out of the water. Okay, here's a stock, UAV, right? At 8:45, the stock ran from $2.40 all the way up to $5 in a matter of at 10 o'clock. Okay, done. Oh, where's the stock now? It's irrelevant. It's not important. I don't own the stock right now. But you know what? This is day trading. And then when the stock started trending down, you could have shorted it. And look, you could have made a killing on the short. That is where you make your money. Did you need $14,000 to day trade? No. To buy 1,000 shares of stock, you need only a few $1,000. Okay? That is day trading. That's how you make money. Any other questions? James, you're right. You got to hang out with people smarter than you. If you think you're the smartest person in the room, then you know what? You're in the wrong business. If you think you're the smartest person in the room, then you got to hang out with people that are good at that industry. That's being smart. Gene has a question. Does this have to do with futures and day trading? Okay, so Gene, this is the thing. When you turn on the TV station or you open up the paper, what do they talk about? The stock market. Okay. Futures, Forex, options. Listen, everybody has a niche. But the thing I tell people is this, Gene. If you're trading futures right now, okay, you've been doing it, I don't know. How long you been doing it for? A month? 2 months? How long you been doing it for? Are you making the 6-figure salary doing it now? Because if you're not, you're wasting your time. I had a student I was talking to today. He just became one of our gold students. He says, you know what? I've been trading options for 2 years. I got 3 great coaches. I took 3 courses, the nicest people in the world. Oh, great. You making the 6 figures? Oh, by far. I'm still on demo. I'm like, what? You're still on demo? How the hell you pay your bills? Oh, I'm still learning. Oh, is that what your mentor told you? Is that what your school? Give me a break. Listen, if a doctor puts you on medicine and you're not well after a couple of days, it's time to be on a different prescription or find a new damn doctor. How do you do that and be on demo for that long? That's ridiculous. Trent, after the first week, if you want to continue in the trading room, it's $149 a month. And listen, if you don't want to continue it, don't worry about it. I'm not like other schools. I'm not going to say, whoa, you were not in the room. You don't want to be in the room. You don't have to be in the room. You know what I mean? You want to pay for it, don't pay for it. Listen, I got a 5-star Google. I want to keep it. I don't need someone to go out there and write a bad review on me. There's a reason why I have 5 stars on Facebook and Google. But listen, you got nothing to lose. You're a Forex trader. You're an options trader. Why don't you just stop and just find the real truth about day trading? You might like it. You might like it. It might be a better diet for you. Less risk, more reward. Do what everybody else is doing. Any other questions? Does your classes throw much? How does your classes and how much do they cost? Ray, I just told you it's $9 right now. Don't worry about later. Let's worry about today. Let's worry about me showing you how to follow the 300 to 500,000 share buyers, because everything else will pay for itself. As of right now, the class costs $9. That's it. $9. Renee just wrote a really nice comment, and I'd like to share it with you. Thanks a lot, Renee. Actually, if you know Renee, Renee was one of my students. Let me just put that in the chat for you. Newcomers, don't hesitate. Fausto's for real. He tried everything to trade and lost currently after 10 years ago. I found Fausto. He taught me the reality. That I have never heard. I'm still with Fausto. He's the only one that consistently, just reading, lifted up my spirits, kissed logic, also something that I never forgot. I finally retired, look forward to trading, but not without Fausto's trading room and guidance. Think if you are the worst, if you think the worst of $9 investment, by the way, I'm not an employee of CTU, and she's not. Thank you very much, Renee, for that. That was, and by the way, you'll be able to meet Renee in the trading room. Okay. Nick has a question, and Renee, it's always great to see you. Thank you so much. Look forward to when you're back in town. We'll meet up again. Nick has a question. This sounds great. Is there advice, advanced mentoring and coaching? If so, what's the cost? Nick, there is, and it's all in there for $9. You see, Nick, you're going to be shocked, but people like you're going to have an education advisor that's going to walk you through the whole trading room. We're not going to charge you for it. It's not going to cost you anything. We know I would rather trading is not for you than you go out there and doing it on your own. Don't worry about what things are going to cost. $5,000, $10,000. First of all, if you had to pay $10,000 for a course, if I taught you how to make $250,000, you're going to have a problem paying $10,000 for a training program or any program with anybody? I don't think so. But why go out there and worry about paying all this big money for coaching and mentoring if you don't even know if sampled it? Come and do a sample for $9. The $9, we do it because we're trying to, weed out all the riffraff. We don't want, we want to make sure you're a real person, everything else. Any track record of your site, Fausto? Absolutely. Come in the trading room, watch our traders, and see how much money they make on their own when they make their call outs. That's the track record. And by the way, anyone heard what happened to Online Trading Academy? Everybody know Online Trading Academy? They're like the biggest in the industry. $300 million franchise educational school. Go check out and see what just happened to them. They just got shut down by the FTC. Exactly what you're saying. I don't believe in people posting track records because they could all be fake. But you know what's not fake? When you come in the trading room and you see what other people are doing, making call outs, that's real. So I don't buy any of those track records, believe me. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Darlene, you're a student and from them and you're trying to get your money back. I hate when I hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. And I'm not, listen, it's not good business to bash anybody, but Darlene, you know what? You're still here. And I've trained a lot of students of theirs, and they always tell me the same thing. Like, damn, I wish I learned, I wish I took the course with you before I took them. And you know what? They end up taking it anyway. And like, listen, don't worry, you'll make it back. I mean, it's like, listen, you went to a school, listen, my son went to college. And he was so looking forward to going to this college. And after the first semester, he quit. He wanted to go. No, he's like, listen, I was looking so forward. My cousins were there and everything. And then he's like, I didn't like it. I just hated it. He's like, and we're like, but why? What's wrong with it? It's got great reviews. You got your cousins there. I just hate it. It's just not for me. And you know what? Now he's in a happier place. So sometimes it takes like these bad things happen and making that investment, and you have to start over again. 14,000 in 1 week. Oh, sorry about that. So anyway, guys, well, Darlene, listen, let's start off with $9. All right. What do you say? Let's start small and let's basically meet each other. Let's talk. And, hopefully I can, help you out a little bit. Listen, you're still here. You obviously know people make money doing it. So, and by the way, this is another reason why I always tell everybody this. Before you ever take a training with someone, make sure they were endorsed with somebody. You know what I mean? Listen, I don't want to, I'm not here to bash anybody, but there's some pretty bad people out there that have these big trading rooms and they spend like hundreds of thousands of dollars on advertising on YouTube and Facebook and stuff like that. I could tell you this, I don't come close to these people on followings, but everything I have is organic. These people buy people to get those views. And you know what? When you get in that room, you'll see, you'll follow what I say. And like I said, you got to do your homework. You got to do your homework. All right, guys, listen, I got to run and get ready to trade going to the close. I'd like to thank Anna for having me here again. Sorry you guys got booted out, but I'm glad you guys came back in. Hopefully it was worth it. here's my little promotion. I think I just gave it to you right there. Yeah, there we go. So you got the link. And listen, if you move forward with me, great. If you don't, I understand. I'm not going to take it personal. But just please, guys, remember, please learn from multiple mentors. Don't think one guy is going to help you. You need to listen to a couple of people. And then you go out there and make the choice. All right? All right, everybody. Good luck. Happy trading. And look forward to seeing you all in the trading room. And be safe, please. Take care of yourself. Be careful of the coronavirus, all right? You got a good excuse to be here, trade. So let's go out there and trade together. And let's try to make money together. Good luck and happy trading and be safe.